everybody, NorCal Sports Network. And first of all, man, we got to say we're sorry to Robert. Something happened with our button. Somebody got probably meant to go put somebody else in a timeout. No, not me. I didn't touch it. Don't even point to me, man. There it is.
Yeah.
Right there. I didn't touch it, Robert, but welcome back. Robert Rothberg is in the house. Always welcome here, Robert. You know, as John Wooden used to say, and I love, and that is something we should all hold to in this chat. The great John Wooden, who I heard Bill Walton quote, say, it's okay to disagree, just don't be disagreeable.
Hey,
how do you like that? So when we get into...
That's good. That's good.
It's okay to disagree, just don't be disagreeable. Now there's a lot of disagreeable people out in Twitter land that have been blocked on my account. They just want to just argue. Goodbye. So anyway, welcome to the NorCal Sports Network. Cody from Even Year Dynasty Show.
500. Way to go, Cody. Way to go, man.
Reaches 500 on his channel. Make sure you go subscribe to that. And we will be... Where was I going?
Postgame.
Oh, yeah. Cody, we're going to get into some minor leagues of the farm system, the Giants farm system, hear about some players, what's happening. But first of all, we got to get into this game today and a couple things. We may have that disagree and don't be disagreeable. We may have something going right here.
Let's go.
I am gonna be disagreeable if my sidekick gets out of hand.
Come on. Hey, did I not make? I made some good points. I made some good points. I wasn't being disagreeable. I was just.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Well, we're gonna have a verbal.
Here we go.
Smackdown tonight when we talk about Marco Luciano. Don't mess with my boy, all right?
I'm messing with him.
All right, you fine. We're gonna do a poll.
We'll do a poll. Okay, yeah, we'll do a poll after we're done.
And it'll be closing arguments like a jury. And I'll be attorney representing Luciano. You'll be the prosecution. I'll be the defense.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Okay, so that's coming up at a little after 9:00. The Luciano debate. Eric taking the side of the prosecution.
Yeah.
Yours truly here will take the defense, and and Cameron Tyson. Yes, I like Cam. He will be the judge. We'll bring him in for the judge.
Let's go. So, all right, sounds good.
Let's talk about the game today. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The ugly was let's start with the good. The good.
Ramos 2 hits and the only RBI.
Ramos 2 hits.
2 hits on a walk.
Wilmer
18 straight games on base.
Yeah. Wilmer gets a ground rule double. He got 2 hits as well.
Dare I say, Luke Jackson 2 innings.
He looks great when he's not in a high leverage situation.
Yeah.
Wisely comes up, gets a hit. Second pitch he sees off of a lefty.
Yep.
After the fix was in on Luciano.
The fix. He got yanked. Injury my ass.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. Okay, that's about all the good there was today. Not a whole lot of other good that I saw. Maybe a couple nice plays out in the field by Wisely did some, good stuff.
Harish, May 29 is not good for Harper.
Oh, is it the same date?
Same exact date, Dan. Same exact date.
Wow. Okay. We'll get into that. Pitching, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Maybe we get a little bit. Kyle Harrison, 12 hits, gave up 12 hits today in only 5 innings. They were smoking the ball off him.
Yes, they were.
And
if he can't get without the fastball, forget about it, man. He's a one-trick pony right now.
Right? Ball hitting team.
Yeah, and exactly.
So
and
it was not a good matchup for him.
Everyone else is going to see it.
Yeah. And what else do we have on the ugly? The ugly with the command of hey, Buster boy, how you doing, buddy? You good boy? Want to be on the show tonight, buddy? Hey, better. Swing.
I'm sure Draco will be making noise here soon. So
all right, there we go.
So
and I'm pretty sure my little bird will probably start chirping here outside the window.
Jeez, I heard that all last night.
So,
Harrison control, though he only did walk 1, but man, does he not?
But
I don't know.
But he got game 12. Come on. Oh, I think Hiroku's being sarcastic. I get
it. He walked 1 guy. What else you want? Yeah, 12 hits, got hit hard, and man, I'll tell you what. He threw those that second one after almost hitting Harper the first time. The one that hit the knob when he dropped the bat just in time, because had he held on to that bat, did you see his hand kind of still? It was like when the vibration of it. I would have been pissed off. In our little group chat that we have, a few of us from the chat in a text, Mark Graves said next pitch would be a curve outside, And
it was, yeah.
And it was. And the next one, what Bob Gibson would have done? Put one right back under the chin.
Yep.
or put him in the ribs. So
I have a differing take. I don't think Harrison was trying to.
No, he might have on the first one, but not
the second one. I don't think so either. I'll explain later.
I felt like this. If anything, the second one might have been more intentional than the first.
You know why I say it's not?
Why would you have gone at him in the first pitch?
Well,
like nothing was close to him.
Here's the thing. There's 2 guys on base. He ain't gonna want to load the bases, right? The guy consistently misses high arm side. Consistently. Yeah. Remember, and we can't look at this in a vacuum, because I'm sure the Phillies know that Harrison has hit a few guys already. And remember his last outing, where did he hit the guy? He hit the guy in the jaw. If it wasn't for that jaw protector, that guy would have broken his face. Yeah. So I think there's something there. As far as his command, I don't think it was Harrison, bowing up. Oh man, well, I'm gonna teach this guy what to do. I think he just missed high arm side. That's what he does. Yeah. It's consistent. So I don't like this narrative saying, oh, he knows how to show down a vet. No, he didn't. He wasn't trying to freaking send a message.
Yeah. Realistically, I don't think either were intentional, but I definitely don't think the first was. And to me, I was like, okay, yeah, after Harper chirps at him for whatever reason, which was totally unnecessary. It's like, that's not throwing at you. Just shut up and get back in the box. But as soon as he got chirped at, I'm like, there's some pitchers that might have put the next one under his chin again. So,
but I think he just has no command. He doesn't. He's not like not like Snell command, but it's there. It's there.
Yeah.
All right, Dan. What else you got?
Well, I think
Are we going to get into the ugly? And I think I know what the ugly is.
Go ahead. Well, the ugly. Yeah. Let's get into this. Hold on 1 second here.
Sure.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. No worries.
Go ahead and carry. I'm going to mute myself.
Gotcha. So before we get into, let me hear your take, Cody. What do you make of Mr. Marco Luciano? I think that's a bigger story than I think the Harrison and Harper thing. But what do you make of it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll be interested to hear if there actually is an injury.
Do you think it's okay? Let's get to that. Do you think that's a bunch of bullshit?
I mean,
come on. You're going to pull a hamstring on a throw? Yeah. That wasn't really that hard.
Yeah. I mean, I could have seen it being like a tweak from when he legged out the swinging bunt in the first or whatever it was in the bottom of the first. It could have been that. And then it just a few innings later, it was bugging him still and they got him out. But it is a little suspicious, but that said, he did walk in the dugout and immediately go up to Dave Greshner. So, and then then Greshner followed him down the tunnel. So,
but
I don't know.
Didn't he take all his gear with him too? It wasn't just like he was going down.
Oh,
for
they always
take their gear, even when they're injured. They go grab their gear.
Yeah, they always take their stuff.
Okay. I thought they hadn't intended to do that.
So
I didn't see him go up to Greshner. I saw him take a seat.
I didn't see him.
That's just what I had heard.
Okay, you know what?
The coverage.
I don't know if I videoed it or not. Let me see. Did I started to video it. Let me hold on.
The broadcast just showed him walking down to the dugout, taking off his hat, and that was it.
Let me. Shoot! It's over. I had my screen up. He sat down on the bench. He went like this. He went down. He sat down, and somebody started talking to him, and it wasn't Greshner. And then he went, and then he got up. It was almost like somebody was saying, "Hey, you're out. Come on." And this is my take. Hey, you're out there. They're maybe they told him, hey, they're concerned. They want to check your leg out or something. Because they're going to have something. Maybe it is a hammy. Maybe it's a tight hammy. Maybe Luciano. We don't know. He did run down the first baseline and he kind of kept running a little bit. Might have tightened up a little. He went back out, played the top of the third, had the play in the infield, and then he was gone. And he did sit down on the bench. I would think, from my standpoint, I would think he wouldn't have sat down, but would have went to Greshner. Hey, man, I think
right.
And he could have said something innings earlier, and they just didn't like the way he was moving.
Could be. We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
So it's.
We got to wait a little bit. Dan, our judge is in recess. He says he'll be back in about 10 or 15.
Who, Cam?
Yeah.
Judge Cam in recess. Okay. We'll have a good debate. Robert Rothberg, welcome back.
Sorry about that, Robert. I don't know what happened, dude.
Oh, come on, Eric. You got ticked off at him and
no,
not at all.
Me, I don't usually do that.
Sometimes, like if we go to press on one of the, I'll just show you what I think happened. Let me just.
If you're trying to get rid of someone and it jumps up with the chat and then you accidentally, it's called friendly fire.
If you go over to we're looking here at the chat and I went to Necron.
Necron, you would pick Necron.
Did he get banned once?
Yeah, you.
Okay, we won't do that. How about Heroku?
You banned him too.
Well, I don't touch this. Okay, so you go to this. No, you go to this. You see those dots right there?
Yeah, you hit those dots. Yeah,
you hit those dots, and it says delete comment. You guys see that?
Yeah, delete comment, put in timeout, or
put in timeout or ban.
Timeout.
So somebody probably, accidentally was. Sometimes when we get a lot of them at once and they're all coming in, and you hit one, and then
the wrong guy.
Hit the wrong guy. And I think that's what happened. So, anyway, that's full disclosure here on the NorCal Sports Network. If we ban you, you got to be a real idiot, because we're pretty easy going.
We're pretty lenient. We don't.
Yeah. I mean, if you're banned, you're being disagreeable just to disagree. Right. You're not being cool at all. So thank you, Robert. Thank you. All right. So good to have you back. Will, I'm about ready to, you know what, Will? Hold on here.
Oh, here we go.
Is that Will right there?
Well,
Will, nice knowing you. No, I won't do that to Will. I need Will to beat up on in fantasy football. I can't have Will banned from the show.
Yeah, Jim, I don't know what happened there either. That was weird.
I need Will smack talking me during championship week
I think Robert deserves a hat, Dan, says Michael Roeder.
A hat, which...
There you go.
I got it. Hey, Robert.
I know what hat to give him.
I got a hat for you right here, Robert.
There it is.
Would you like this one?
It is.
You guys don't want this one from today, do you?
No.
You don't want that one? Should I wear this one today, hat, guys, in the chat? I look patriotic, don't I? I got red, white, and blue here. I got the blue, I got the white,
Yeah,
and
there you go.
I got the red.
Hey.
Yeah, look. It is Memorial Day week.
Thanks, Niner. Appreciate that. He deserves it. I mean, those are the two guys that signed those guys.
All right.
We're still waiting on Cameron.
All right. Well, let's get into some minor league stuff. Right. Let's jump into it. By the way, covered the game today. Obviously Giants just didn't have it. The bats weren't there really the last couple nights.
The last two nights.
But as Kruko said, the Giants scored 1 run in 19 innings and got a win out of it. So you take it.
Yep.
Or 2 runs, I guess.
Yeah.
So they basically Jim Everett, I'm supposed to send you. It wouldn't fit you. I got. What else do we have here? So yeah, let's just get into the minor leagues, and then we'll get into some of this Luciano stuff. Who's hot? Who's not? And who is somebody that we might see here in the next month or two?
Yeah, I mean, who's hot? That kind of starting up in the upper levels. Reggie Crawford, for starters, had a really good week. Pitched in 2 games, 3 innings, no earned runs last week. Control looked pretty solid. Maxed out at 32 pitches. I mean, I think we've all known that they're targeting him as a reliever right now to advance him, and then they've talked about they still want to try stretching him out later. So, maybe a little bit of the Jordan Hicks path where they try and extend his innings in future years. But right now he just hasn't thrown enough pitches that they're going to let him, they're going to just try and advance him as fast as they can and worry about getting him lengthened later. I mean, Tyler Fitzgerald, I think most of us saw what he did last week. Hit 6 home runs in a week, which is pretty dang impressive. Casey Schmidt had a really nice week with Tyler Fitzgerald last week. Between the two of them, those guys combined for 9 homers and like 30 hits or 20 hits. Sorry. In the lower levels, well, actually, AA Grant McCray, he was Eastern League Player of the Week last week. He's in the month of May, he's hitting 310 with a 1050 OPS. I mean, for a guy that was truly abysmal in the first month of the season.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's recovered his average still isn't great. It's still 225, somewhere around there. But his OPS is almost 800 now, and he still walks about 13.5% of the time. So with his speed, it's like if you can just get on base, like he could be pretty dynamic. But still a lot of swing and miss. Not sure how much he's gonna, how he's gonna progress. It's the hit tool. That's a big question for him. Bryce Eldridge had another good week, went 8 for 24 last week, a couple doubles. Joe Whitman had a really solid week, through 5 scoreless innings of only 1 hit ball for San Jose. And then, I mean, other than that, Jonah Cox had another great week. He really should get promoted already. And then in fall or complex league, I don't know how many of you guys saw, but Walker Martin hit a couple home runs.
Walker Martin.
Dan talked about it. Yeah,
last night. Yeah, 2 for 3 home runs, 2 home runs. Yeah.
And as far as who we might see soon, most of them are up. I don't think they're gonna put Wisenhunt up anytime soon. Roop actually is on the 7-day IL with, quote, undisclosed injury. So who knows, how the minors are.
I heard Meckler's back, right?
Yeah, Meckler he's now in San Jose for his rehab. So we'll see. I'm sure he'll just skip Richmond and just jump up to Sacramento once he's ready to do that. But there's just, he's the other guy that I guess, but there's so many outfielders, and with Ramos playing really well, and Matos has cooled off, but he's still producing pretty decently. And playing really, and playing pretty solid center field. He's not a leadoff hitter.
I don't know what the Giants are thinking.
He's too aggressive of a swinger to put in the leadoff spot, and he's not like a big on-base machine. I mean, I honestly, with how he's playing, if they wanted to put Brett Wisely there right now, I'd be like, okay. It would make more sense than Matos. So, I don't know. But I agree. Get Matos down in the order. I mean, the only guys I could see would be Roop if he was healthy. And then, I mean, depending on what's going on with Luciano, maybe you see Casey Schmidt get taxi squatted back over. But with Fitzgerald and Wisely, it's kind of like, why? At that point, just let those two play short. And then, if they go the Reggie Crawford route eventually in a month or two, if they like his development, I could see him in the pen. I think getting another power lefty is not a bad thing, especially because Eric Miller's been kind of all over the map with his production. And I like Eric Miller. I wouldn't want to send him down, but I could see them wanting to get another, flame throwing lefty in there. So
yeah, why not? Hey, and does it look? You think Spencer Howard is up for? He's going to be in a rotation because there's no one else in AAA, right? That can handle that workload right now, right? If Roop is on the 7-day, Black is ineffective. It's going to have to be Spencer Howard until he shows that he can do it.
Yeah, and the thing with Howard is, and at the end of the day, they didn't hit him, and credit to Spencer Howard, and he deserves some, but he threw a lot of middle fastballs. Hung some breaking balls, and guys just didn't hit him. And he looked he didn't look like suddenly any better than he looked in Sacramento. And at times in Sacramento, he just got lit up. And none of his stuff is overwhelming. I like his fastball a little more than I liked, Dalton Jeffries. Felt like he couldn't get up to, 96 and just throw one by someone. So I appreciate what Howard gave them, but, I'd pump the brakes on him a little bit.
Did you see the text from Cameron?
Yep.
Judge Cameron? Okay, good. Yep. We'll have to give him a gavel. But
and Austin Slater is terrible still in Sacramento.
You know what? There's something else before we get into the trial. There's more ugly. We forgot to discuss Jorge Soler.
Okay.
What are we gonna do with this guy, Dan?
He'll be part of the trial. Don't worry.
Oh, he's going to be part of the trial.
Yeah.
You know what, though? To be honest, there's a pathway here for Ramos to stay up. And that is it right there.
You're talking about Luciano, you mean?
Nope. For Ramos. Because when they activate Slater and Conforto, I think Ramos is the odd man out. But if they put Soler on the IL again, he may wind up being the DH. I could see that. I could see that a path forward for Ramos to stay up with the big club. Because Slater and Conforto are coming.
I don't know how they could even attempt to justify Austin Slater over Elliot Ramos.
I know it's stupid.
I mean,
but they're going to.
I know I'll be going scorched earth if they pull.
Yeah,
that.
Me too. The whole. I don't see him doing it. I don't see
a fireable offense.
I don't see him doing it. He's I mean, Ramos is just. I mean,
he's hitting what 292.
He is hitting. Pull it up here for just 1 second here. Ramos is hitting 292. Correct. Matos down to 243. The Giants have a big problem on their hands, so they do not have a leadoff hitter. Their best leadoff hitter was, in my opinion, would be Wade, but he's out. So, I don't know.
Like I said, if they're playing wisely, I don't actually hate him if they want to try that.
Yeah.
Until he shows that he can't hit again in the major leagues. Like right now he's hitting, and in the minors, he was a 400 plus on base percentage guy. He hasn't drawn any walks surprisingly in the majors yet this season, but he was drawing a ton of walks. He doesn't strike out a lot. He'll work a count. He has plus speed. He's not going to be a 30 base stealer more than likely or anything like that, but he's got plus speed. He makes sense to me, like as of what they currently have, but yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, they're hanging in there, right? A game above 500. They're basically exactly where they were last year at this point in the season. Last year, they got to a high of 13 games over 500, and then the bullpen wore out. I'm expecting similar results this year because the bullpen is getting overtaxed because they have nobody but Webb that can go beyond the fifth inning. Hicks occasionally can go 6.
Yep.
But this is a team that when you get Jordan Hicks, we looked at this last night, Cody, most he's ever pitched in baseball is 105 innings. And that was in 2018.
Right.
Last year, it was like 70, 60, something 70. Look, his goal is 130. Where is he going to be? Well, we've already figured out by projections based on his starts that he will surpass his innings of wherever he's pitched in his career by the beginning of August. So for him to keep going, I think he hits a wall. I think Harrison hits a wall. I think Wynn you can't count on him. Cobb, you can't count on him. We don't know much about Howard. Snell, he can't go. He might pitch good again, but only for 5 innings because he might, keep you in games giving up 1 run in 5 innings, but he throws so many pitches, he can't get into the 6th generally. He's averaging over 20 pitches an inning.
Yeah. I think they have a chance in August or so to get a little bit of a shot in the arm with
who,
potentially
Ray?
With Robbie Ray. And I would also add in Tristan Beck, depending on how his recovery goes. Because I know when he had that aneurysm in his arm, they said it was 4 months before he could even throw. So, we'll see with him. And I actually felt early in the season the bullpen was badly missing him specifically. Because they didn't have a bulk guy that was reliable. He actually threw a lot of I don't know how much you guys remember last season. He threw the 10th inning a lot, and he actually helped them a lot of games by pitching around that, like the ghost, the Manfred runner and things like that. So Tristan Beck, I like him as a reliever, but I think they've missed him a lot so far. And he's a guy that could give them a little bit of length if he comes back. But yeah, I mean, it's like you said, you can't really rely on these guys. We're talking about we're talking about Cobb, who's had 4 or 5 setbacks now. Ray is coming off Tommy John. I mean, I'm hopeful as every Giants fan, but are we going to count on that? And then Tristan Beck had an arm aneurysm where they said, yeah, you can't throw for 4 months. So it's a lot of, hopes and prayers on these guys coming back and helping. So.
Yeah. It's the whole league is dealing with the same issue though. So, I think it's some teams that are better set up for it. So hold on here. Let me send this.
Are you sending it or am I sending?
No, you got his email?
I think I do.
Okay, let me see if I have it. Go ahead, Cody.
I think it is. Yeah, I think I got it.
Okay. So Crawford, you say, is pitching 2 to 3 innings at a time now?
2. He'll max. He threw 32 pitches in his last outing.
And but he's going every 5 days still, or?
Yeah, I think, it's like every 4. I think they might be doing 4 days. I think they're trying to get him on a semi-regular, bullpen role, I guess you can call it. Like they're just kind of rotating him through about every 4 days. And some games, like the first one, he only threw 19 pitches and he, blew right through an inning. And then they he had kind of a higher stress inning, I guess. And they take him out after 1 inning. So
he's not on the 40 though, right?
No. So that's the other part of it. That all these guys that are on the 40 man, like they're up, except for David VR, who's just not playing well this season. But enough injuries happen. I guess it's always possible. So I think he's going to get moved by the deadline. But
I don't know who would want him. Maybe they might end up DFAing him.
There's enough teams that I think would be that kind of devoid of talent.
Power. Look for a power.
I mean, a team like Detroit or, some of these crummy teams that or Chicago where they have Vaughn. So I don't know why they'd really make that deal, but maybe they put him at third. I don't know who their third baseman is off the top of my head.
I see this in a chat real quick. Have you seen this Greg Johnson interview that Tim?
Haven't seen it, but I
haven't seen it. Maybe we'll do this after our trial here. We'll get into that maybe.
I am interested in listening to that. I saw Kawakami's tweet today on that.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting for the judge to come into the chambers.
All right.
I hope he got it. Did you get it, Cameron?
So, I want to look at this objectively with the team. And I have my concerns because I feel like they hit this, they were gelling, peaking. Everybody's fired up. And now it's like we're on the precipice of bringing Slater back and then Conforto. And I feel like they're going to make some stupid move. And then we got the Luciano situation. And there's this kind of a cloud. I feel like it's starting to move in, even though they've only lost 1 game in 13 games or 3 games. They're like 10-3 in their last 13 after today's game. So in some respects things are going well, but it could really turn the other way quickly with the things I just mentioned, and then the Yankees coming to town.
Yeah.
But they can hold that down. If they can take 2 or 3 from the Yankees, it's a great homestand. 4-2 against the top 2 teams in baseball would be tremendous. And it would send them, out on a tough road trip above 500. But if they just don't get swept by the Yankees this weekend,
they're coming in hot.
Yankees have been.
I'd want to get greedy and try and obviously everyone wants to try and win that series. But if you told me if they can win 1 and you told me before the Phillies and Yankees series that the Giants found a way to win 3 of them, I'd have taken that, before the series.
Yeah.
So
is that H supposed to be an N, Cam?
That's supposed to be an N. Yeah. Yeah, he's fixing it. You have to back out and come back in if you want to fix it.
That was funny.
Yeah, his honor. I like that. You don't want to be his homer. You don't want to be his homer.
My homer.
Oh, yeah. So you get the benefit, the fence.
I think we should get the jury. I think we need 12 people.
That'd be great. We only could get 10 people in here. We should get a jury.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say about.
I think we should. Go ahead, Cody. Maybe jury.
Cody
could be a jury member.
Yeah. I have opinions on this whole Luciano thing. So
all right,
I'm keeping it. Anyone that's listening to me, you probably know about where I feel on this, but
there he is.
So we have room. Yeah. There's going to be 4 of us. We can only have 10 in here.
You can only have 10, so we could have
7 jurors.
Yeah, it's got to be 6 more. Who wants to be on the jury?
Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? Who wants to be on the jury? W
And with that, we'll bring in the Honorable Judge Cameron. There he is. Hey, what's up, Cameron?
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Good, good,
Right,
good.
all right.
Hello.
Hey, Cody,
Appreciate you participating.
Good.
All right, who out there wants to be in the jury?
I don't know. I was going to get on Yaz too, but he kind of looks a little bit like Yaz, the judge. So I'm not sure if I can.
You're going to defend Yaz?
I'm kidding.
I haven't gotten the Yaz comparison yet. I've gotten the guy from American Pie. I've gotten the Jim Briggs comparison, but never the Yaz one.
I see a little Patrick Bailey, maybe.
Yeah,
there's a little Patrick Bailey in there.
He doesn't have all the gray hair that I do. Years of teaching.
Jim ever wants to be the bailiff. Here, hold on. Here we go. Let's get this out there. Here's the lead.
Senior says he'll be in the jury. Okay, pop in quick. Taking 6 jurors.
There it is. Come on, the first 6 come in.
Oh, we get to interview them, see what side they're on.
Oh, we can't do that. We can't do that. We ain't got time.
No, I don't want them.
We're gonna be here till 1 o'clock in the morning, man.
I don't want them.
Well, yeah, next time put out a questionnaire, and then we'll do that first before they come in.
Put out the questionnaire. Yeah.
Hey, but I got a little benefit here. His Honor is a fellow historian, so there you go.
Okay.
But he'll play no bias. He'll play no bias.
Yeah, and my boss is yelling at me from upstairs. I hear my 3-year-old calling for daddy, so I had to make this quick, guys.
All right,
no worries.
All right, we don't have a jury yet? Okay. No
jury.
Whatever. I can be judge and jury too. So.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Jury and acquittal. Okay.
Yeah. All right, well. Court is coming to session. Oh yays, oh yays, oh yays.
Did you get rid of him or did he leave?
Nope, he just got out.
Oh, I was bringing him in and he was gone.
And he got out. Now that was pretty damn funny.
That was funny. Okay, far on. That might have been senior.
It might have been.
Oh goodness. Okay, the 3-year-old's yelling for me. So guys, might have Cody be the honor for the minute here.
If you got to go, man. That's fine.
All right, I'll be back, guys.
Okay. All right. We've got we can bring a jury in now. Put the link back out there. Come on, guys, hurry up and get in here. We got a bunch of people out there at 315. Come on, guys. We need just 6 people. Easy. Kangaroo court.
Come on. Just hit the link. You don't have to turn on the camera.
Who's on trial, Farhan?
There's no one on trial. You know who's on trial is going to be Marco Luciano is who is on trial. Yeah. Come on, guys. There's 314. 314. I know a lot of you guys are probably on Twitter, but come over from Twitter. Come over to YouTube. Come get on the jury of the NorCal Sports Network. We're going to debate.
Don't be scared.
Are you trying to talk, Dan? Because you're muted.
Oh, I've been talking. When I finish with Eric, he's going to be.
Dan.
You sound like context now.
You know what your case is going to hold? It won't hold this. That's your case right there.
Here's your case, man. You were going to take a bathroom break, and you're going to be heading to the showers. And I'm not talking the regular showers. I'm talking golden. Hey, wait a minute. That's the wrong one. What the heck
What
happened?
are you doing, Dad? You can't even work the buttons.
That says peeing. What's going on? It's turned into
what? What are you talking?
That's the wrong one. What happened to that? It got mislabeled, man. That's supposed to be the golden shower.
The what?
Dude.
The golden shower. What happened? Oh, well. All right. Hey, I said off. Stop. All right. Who we got here? Kevin.
We got Kevin in here.
Where is he? Where's Kevin? There. See, there it goes. I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it. Stupid thing. Golly. Goes off.
This is devolved.
What's up, Kevin?
All right.
Kevin, are you there? Kevin?
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 Bueller.
Kevin is
No.
gone.
Yeah, Cody's like, what the hell did I get myself involved in?
All right.
Oh, yeah, and Kevin is gone.
All right. So
You, sir, are in contempt, yes.
Slater after eating AAA food spreads.
Senior, you want to become in here, be the judge? No. Where's Los? Where's Los?
Los can't be a judge.
Why can't he?
Because he's biased. Cameron's
Yeah,
a little biased.
I'm biased on it, so I
Tampering with
can't.
the huh?
I said I would be biased too, so I can't. I have my feelings.
Man, look at that. No one wants to even come in. Oh, here we go. We're back. All right. He's back. All right.
Yes. All
He's
right.
back.
All good? All good?
Yeah, all good. All right, you ready to get this started? All right. Oh, yays.
Wait, no, Dan. We're good. We're good.
We're good. Kyle's coming in. I knew
Kyle-
Kyle would come in as a jury. Okay. So
All right.
we're bringing in
Ready to
Kyle.
start?
Wait a minute. No juror can go into your courtroom looking like that. Come on. You're going to let a guy with no shirt on the
Yeah, in your
courtroom? What's happening to this show?
It's that time of year, guys.
Yeah,
Your
it is.
Honor. Your
gonna
Honor.
That's how long
hundreds,
you've been
man.
broadcasting. It's going to be 102 in a couple days. So
Exactly, Kyle. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Your Honor.
there's one.
Well,
It's
Dan-
I
your
can't remember who
courtroom.
I ran. Go ahead.
Dan, the
What the
sport is
heck,
in-
then? I'll just hold on. No.
Dan,
Oh,
the sport
Lord.
is in California. We are very different from Arizona. we let a lot of things go differently here.
All right.
I can't remember. I was at Pig and a Pickle with Larry, and one guy was like, "Dude, you're the guy that's always naked on NorCal Sport." I'm like, "I'm not naked. It's
Yeah.
my shirt on." All right, I'll hold on. I'll throw the shirt on. Hold on.
Don't do that for us, Kyle. It's all good.
Oh, man.
You got a nice ceiling at least.
Hey,
Oh, we got Farhan Zahi. There we got
please.
Farhan. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, the unbiased, right? What's up, Farhan?
I can't read the chat. I'm probably getting crushed.
No, you're good.
You gonna name that bird Farhan or what?
Yeah.
Does Farhan talk?
I think Farhan is not talking right now. So we'll
No,
see.
he uses AI just to talk for him.
Hey,
What's up,
congrats, Cody.
Oh, there
on
he
the
is. There he is.
500.
I hear a Farhan.
Who's up? Hey, Farhan, what's happening?
Here, just putting cream on my bald head right now.
Okay.
So,
Hey,
All right.
congrats, Cody, on that 500. Right, 500 or a little more.
Yeah, you're muted. You're muted, Cody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Cool, man. How
Cody's
long-
gonna
when
be
did
like,
you
man,
start-
I'm gonna lose subs coming on this damn show.
What's that?
When did you start your channel? How long ago?
November.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
good.
What- What's the name of it? I'll jump over and subscribe. I
Yeah.
can't
Oh,
remember.
appreciate it. Even your dynasty show.
Even
Year dynasty
Yeah.
show.
like 10, 12,
Just a little
14.
shout out. Like 10 years ago. It feels
10,
like.
Dan,
12,
did you
14.
watch go ahead.
Did I watch what?
You watched the game live or you record it?
I watched it live.
I don't know, man. That I didn't know
I
that
was there
stat.
today,
The
guys.
same thing with Harper on the same day as Strickland, right? Hunter
Yeah,
Strickland?
Hunter Strickland. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
wild. I was watching that game live in South Lake Tahoe, but I was thinking about that moment. But man, I was watching that today, going Harrison kind of. He
He's
looked
wild.
intimidated.
He's
Like
wild,
he
yeah.
looked,
He's
he
wild.
looked intimidated though. Like Harper was pissed.
He's wild.
Like,
Well, that's why.
Yeah, we got to. Hey, guys, let's get into this. Let's get into this. We're
Let's
getting
do
derailed.
the
Yeah. All right. We're gonna get right to this. We're gonna start this trial. And who's on trial today? The
up, Kevin?
trial.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Hear you.
Yeah.
You sound great.
Fantastic. Awesome.
the people of NorCal Sports versus Marco Luciano.
No, it's Eric against Marco Luciano and NorCal Sports, part of NorCal. We'll see. We got some people on both sides, so it's going to be fun. So I'm going to be defending Marco Luciano.
Defense always goes first, right?
No,
and
prosecutor does.
Prosecutors goes.
And you're going to prosecute. And the case is about today's play, right?
No, it's not just about today's
Probably
play.
overall.
It's overall.
Okay.
You can't take it in a vacuum.
Okay, because you called out Marco as being lazy today.
Correct. It was a lazy throw. Period.
You said it was a lazy.
It was a lazy effort.
Okay.
Lazy effort.
All right, I'm going to defend that.
Okay, cool. Ready? Are we going to begin?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh yays, oh yays.
Here we go.
We have to. We and the judge didn't come. All rise.
Yeah. All right. There you go.
Say the oath. Yeah.
No, you don't do that.
Blah,
without-
blah,
you
blah,
don't-
blah, blah, blah,
Forget about
blah,
the
blah,
oath.
blah, blah.
You don't do that. The only way you do that is if you're a witness. So I get started with my oh yays, oh yays, oh yays. The court of NorCal Sports in session. Cameron Tyson presiding. The Honorable Eric Romo will be prosecuting the case, and the Honorable Dan Cotamilio will be defending Marco Luciano in the case. Mr. Romo, your opening statement.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the
Damn, that
jury.
was good.
Yeah, that was excellent.
Very
All right, we're
Teacher.
talking about Mr. Marco Luciano. Ever since he was called up to the San Francisco Giants here in the 2024 season, he has made numerous errors. Numerous errors. Not only that, he's also made some defensive miscues. Today, being one of them, was the lazy throw. That's what I'm going to call it. The lazy effort and lazy throw to first base today. Not only that, he's also had some base running errors. When you get called up to the big leagues, all right, there's expectations. Those expectations are for you to fulfill your duties as a shortstop. One of those being, you have to field your position. All his mistakes, I will give him the benefit of the doubt that they were not physical. Every single error that he has made has been mental ever since he's been called up.
Mr. Romo, can you define such mental errors for the court?
Well,
I think the attorney is mental.
Listen, mental errors. For example, just the way that he fields the position. It's not his physical abilities. It's not that he doesn't have the lack of an arm.
Objection, Your Honor.
Hey, come on, man.
Mr. Romo, do you have an event that you can point to as evidence that can prove your point, sir? We need to have like an actual evidence here.
No, we're ain't gonna have no damn evidence.
Well, no,
this is conjecture. This whole thing is conjecture. The whole case is
play.
conjecture.
Point
All
to a
right, I'll
single
continue.
play.
Okay, we'll
Order
say
in the
today.
court.
Okay, we can say.
Where's the hammer? Or what's
Oh,
it
I
called?
got
What I'm trying to say is, ever since he's been up at the big club, he's made mistakes without being benched. Everything that has happened to him, except for today, happened prior to him being benched. He was benched for the simple fact that he was committing errors. Right. Today, after sitting on the bench, comes out, gets a starting. It's his first start, I think, in 4 or 5 games. His first play that he's going to make, he throws a lazy ball to first base. For me, it seems like there's something mentally going on because it seemed to me to be a routine play, and he was just taking his time. Being under the gun, such as he is, he was benched for 4 games. For what reason? For his defensive play. So if he's going to come up and get that starting position again, he needs to show that he could field that position. We're not going to argue the fact that his bat has been playing, but the issue has been is his defense. And if you're going to come up and make a play like that, when they're giving you another opportunity to be able to field shortstop position, that is on the player. Look, there's only so much that the organization could do. All right. If you're not producing, you're going to ride the bench. Plain and simple. That happens in every facet of every job in anywhere. If you don't do the job, you're going to suffer the consequences. And he suffered the consequences of riding the bench. Maybe there's some other issues going on. I don't know. It seems like there might be something else with that throw today. Maybe there's something else going on in his mind that we don't know about. Maybe there's some behind-the-scenes issues that's going on. But something is not right. And I can't justify a player who's supposed to be up here playing at a top level. Look, the major leagues is not easy. None of it is easy. It's hard. How many people get to make it to the major leagues? Not very many people. So when you're up here, you need to be able to produce. And look, you're giving him a shot. He's making errors. Granted, the organization.
What are you doing, Dan?
Could the organization maybe have made a determination? Maybe shortstop is not his position. Maybe. But today's error had nothing to do with fielding shortstop. That was to throw to first base. How does that have anything to do with him being a shortstop? He should have made that play. And this is the issue that I have. It comes to a point to where the individual player must be able to make these plays, regardless of what is happening. Look, people that come up to major leagues, there's expectations. I said that in the beginning. And if you're not going to meet those expectations, you're going to suffer the consequences. Look, the club cannot go out there and field your position. You have to do it as a player. And if you're not getting it done, you're saying more about the player than you are than about the club. Don't get me wrong. The club has something has some onus in this as well, for the simple fact that we should have played him in a different position. But would that have solved this issue? I don't know. But there's something strange that is going on with Marco Luciano. I don't know what it is. I'm sure the club knows what it is, but you can only give the guy so much time as far as fielding mistakes and mental errors. You can't keep doing that. Look, I understand he's a rookie, but you got to come up here and be able to produce to a certain extent. You cannot be a liability. You can't. And that's the issue that I have with Marco Luciano. And that's why when I saw the throw today, it looks like he's just lazy. Just because you're a top prospect does not earn you a right to be on the big club. You got to come up here and produce. And if you don't produce, then what are you going to do? And let's look at the history of Marco Luciano. Has he done anything in the minor leagues to earn promotion? He has been advanced through the minor leagues, not exactly setting it on fire, but he has continually got that promotion. Is that promotion on merit? Or is that promotion just because maybe they needed a position player? When he got called up last year, he wasn't doing nothing but just hitting home runs in Sacramento. This year in Sacramento, he wasn't doing nothing. His power was non-existent, and he's supposed to be a power hitter. Has he done anything to earn that spot on the roster? For me, I say no, but he's up at the big club. Maybe he can produce. And he's shown so far as the glove is concerned, that he's not being able to produce. I don't know what the solution is, but it sure looks like that he is going to not be with this organization for very much longer. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be a trade piece come to the trade deadline.
Thank you, Mr. Romo. Mr. Cotamilio, your statement.
Will we get to call each other to the stand? Cross-examination.
If you want it, Mr.
Are we cross-examining now?
No,
I thought we were just doing closing statements.
Mr. Cotamilio, do you have anything that you would like to address that Mr. Romo brought up in court?
Is this an opening statement?
Yes.
Yes.
Give an opening statement.
Yeah, I'd like to address his comment of saying Marco Luciano is a lazy play today. I played shortstop, and there are times when if you go into a funk mentally, you're not playing aggressively. You're playing in a apprehensive manner, which is the last few ground balls he got on the last road trip. He made errors with the glove. And hold on, no, don't interrupt the attorney.
Please, Jerry. Please, the counselor. Please, the counselor.
Eric's totally trying to botch the whole.
So he's apprehensive. He's playing from fear, not confidence, because the club has shown him no confidence. And so what happened was that ball came to him. His first reaction was, I got to catch it. I got to catch it. I got to catch it. And then once he caught it, it was like, I got to make a good throw. And he hasn't had much time on the field. And so his footwork lacks, his timing lacks. And so what he did was, made sure he caught the ball and then made sure he had time to set his feet and throw a good throw, not realizing the speed of the runner. So he was so fearful of missing the ball again because he's been on the bench for 4 days. And so now he's out. They've messed with his head so much that he's lost all confidence in his ability to just make a routine play. And I put this a lot on the Giants. There's no way it's a lazy play, like he's not trying. Lazy implies he's not out there giving it his all. That's hogwash, Your Honor. This man is wanting to play. They've just put him in a bad position. He was doing fine before the last road trip. He'd made every play hit to him. I'd also like to point out an error in judgment on my opposing counsel. He says he has not made any physical errors. They're all mental. I don't know how he has any credibility when a guy has a ball go out of his glove. That's a physical error, not a mental error. Mental error is being in the wrong place not thinking. But anytime it's a error with the glove, it's a physical error. Just want to point that out to my respected colleague over there. Not understanding what a physical error and a mental error is.
Noted.
There you go. So let me go over some statistics with you guys. Does anybody know who the leading Giants, who has the highest OPS on the Giants right now?
Are you asking members of the jury, Coach?
Yes.
Coach Amelia, or are you asking
Wade.
Mr. Romo?
Wade.
Yeah. Right now, the highest OPS on the current 26-man roster is Marco Luciano, 986. How about
Objection.
Mr. Romo?
How many at-bats?
That's substantial, Mr. Coach Emilio.
irrelevant?
Mr. Coach Emilio, I have to say that is pretty relevant in this case because a small sample size.
Well, then how we judge his fielding on such a small sample size? He's on trial for.
That's true.
Very true.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the other side of the coin.
Winner. Batting average. Who's got the highest batting average on the Giants? That would be Marco Luciano, 375. Current 26-man roster on base percentage. That would be Marco Luciano, 444. And slugging percentage, 416. On the contrary.
How many at-bats does Luciano currently have?
I didn't even look. My guess is it's about 20.
Somewhere around somewhere around 30, I think.
Yeah, it's more than that.
Yeah, I haven't even looked. On the contrary, we're talking about this man's not fit for playing shortstop. I would tend to agree that he's not the greatest shortstop. He's a rookie. He's 22. He missed a couple of years with back injuries, with COVID. He has not had the opportunity to be developed. But the Giants brought him up here for his bat. And he's producing with the bat. And yet they're carrying a DH by the name of Jorge Soler, who is hitting 201 to Marco's 375. His on-base percentage is 286 to Marco's 444. His slugging is 354 to Marco's 416. And his OPS is 640 to Marco's 986. Why are we benching a man for 4 games after he goes 3 for 4 last Friday night? His first 3 for 4 game, struggles in the field, and then they bench him on Saturday. Fine. Sunday, you're facing a left-handed hitter, a pitcher in Sean Manaea, and we all know the clown of this organization that runs this Giants franchise calls up people from the minors just to have him in the lineup for advantages because he wants to platoon every gosh darn thing that walks. So Marco is going to face Sean Manaea. He just had 3 hits, and he's your best hitter, and he sits, but he plays Soler. So they're making a point to sit Marco for 4 days, and it's like, crap or get off the pot, guys. Either send him down to AAA or play the kid. He's 22 years old. He's your number 1 prospect, and you're destroying his confidence by just sitting his butt on the pine and not letting him do anything. So you stick him back out there today, and it's like, what do you expect? You're expecting flawless defense, and the kid, I think what needed to be said to him was, look, you made some errors. Don't worry about it. Sharpen up your game. Get back out there. We believe in you, kid. You belong in this. You belong at this level. Your bat plays. Your glove's going to come around. But no, everybody's crapping on Marco and making it like the kid can't play shortstop. Maybe he can't. Find a different position for him then, Giants. Put him out in left field. Put him in right field. Do something. In the meantime, get him in the lineup. You saw what he did against Pittsburgh. You won a game that you wouldn't have won if it wasn't for Marco stealing second and stealing third. And they weren't steals, but he took second. He took third base on balls that just popped out of Joey Bart's glove and trickled away 3-4 feet. Nick Ahmed, no way. Brett Wisely, no way are they taking second base or third base on those. You got to play a guy who's athletic, who's got speed, and stop tearing this kid down, because he is a top prospect for a reason, and he should be playing. If he's not going to be on the field, put him at the plate. Why are you playing Jorge Soler? Why aren't you giving Jorge Soler 3 or 4 days off? Just smack the rookie and instead pay 15 or whatever you're paying Soler, 12, 13 million a year for 3 years, and you're going to stick him out there. He can't hit a ball with a telephone pole right now. And Marco, just like I said, gets 3 hits and you bench him for 4 games. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And no, Marco's not lazy. Is he a little bit lack on some ability at shortstop, timing, footwork, some gloves, some hands? Yes. Then find a position for him to play, because he's your best hitter on this team.
Judge, note for the record.
Argument.
Note for the record. The counselor said he is not a shortstop. He should be in a different position. I wholeheartedly agree. No, but real quick. Mental error. There were some mental errors when he covered. Remember the first game, he didn't cover second.
Yeah,
base.
you said he didn't commit 1 physical error.
Okay, yeah, okay. I take that back. I was wrong. There was a mental error. The running issue, running to second base. What would you consider that, a mental or a physical error?
That was a mental error. He should.
What about the throw today? What would you consider that?
I think that was in his head.
Yeah,
not lazy.
But
he was apprehensive.
The reason
I
I get that. But the reason why I'm saying it's lazy, because it feels like there's no effort. When I see no effort,
how do you know there's no effort?
And that's the thing. That's going to be hard to determine. It's hard to determine because I'm not in the guy's head. And here's the thing: there might be something going on with this kid that we don't know about. This is what the point I'm trying to make is maybe there is something other than just him playing a position. Maybe there's something deeper going on with this club and Luciano that we don't have anything to do, and it's affecting his play. Maybe it is, but what I'm seeing right now is that he doesn't have it right now. And you cannot, if you know that your job is on the line for the most part, that you're not going out there and getting these somewhat easy plays, there's something to be said for that. Look, I don't know what the answers. I honestly don't know what the answers are, He can only do what he could do with his own means. He can't control who's going to be the DH, who's not going to be the DH. He can't control who's going to get called up, who's not going to get called up. When you get the call up, that's your opportunity, man. You got to get it. You got to spunk that thing, fucker. That's what you got to do, right? That's the mindset. You've got to be able to do that. We can't handle certain people with kid gloves. Look, maybe I'm a little bit more extreme on that than others, but when you're getting called up, man, you got to come up here and produce, especially when the spotlight is on you. It's not going to get any easier. And he's got to be able to go out there and field his position. If shortstop isn't it, then so be it. That's fine. I'm good with that. But what I saw today, it just looked bad. It looked bad. I mean, when he threw that ball, I'm like, what the hell is he doing? It wasn't even normally when he throws the ball over, he's throwing a pretty good bead. It was he shuffled it a couple of times, and then it was just a somewhat throw, and then he gets pulled for a hamstring. But I think we all know that wasn't the case. But there's got to be something done, and I agree with you. The organization, to an extent, is at fault because they didn't recognize that this guy should not be playing shortstop. He shouldn't be. Would he be a good? You mentioned his offensive numbers; those are fantastic. How many errors does he have in 8 games? He has 5 errors in 8 games. Look,
you know what? 2 of those errors could have gone into different people. The one that
Tyro Estrada was absolutely on Tyro Estrada.
Yeah, that was on Estrada.
Okay.
And then the one where Luciano didn't he throw the ball and hit somebody in the Alonso in the back? Or was that the one?
Mm-hmm.
He hit him in the arm because it was a bad throw.
Yeah,
but Lamont Wade Jr. didn't give him a lane.
Exactly.
You don't stand dead on the bag. You get on the side.
He did not take one side or the other.
And then you know what his fielding percentage is?
I would take those 2 errors away personally.
Okay, but let's go with fielding percentage then. 865. 865 fielding percentage.
And his career minor league fielding percentage is 932, I think, which is
so that's
good,
not even excellent. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. What is this? What is this saying? It's showing that he cannot play the position of shortstop. He
was playing it fine until the road trip.
Well,
he had not made a physical error and he made some pretty athletic plays.
And I agree. He did make some plays.
So he made a couple of errors, and then that gets into his head. You know what? If
major leagues, everything.
Yeah, but major league. How many errors does Matt Chapman have?
I think he's got 6. But how many more putouts does he have? How many more putouts and assists does he have?
Exactly. But Matt Chapman had 6 errors in about a 2.5 week span.
Absolutely.
Did everybody lose it and say, he's not Matt Chapman. He's not a Gold Glove player. But you know what? You knew that when you brought him up. So why'd you stick him? Why did you bring him up if you were going to bring him up and why didn't you put this is so much on the Giants, it's not even funny.
No,
they have not they have not prepared him to play anywhere.
It's court. You guys can't agree.
And I'll just say this.
What's going on?
If the point is that Luciano was being lazy, I disagree. I think, again, apprehensive is different than being lazy. Lazy says I don't care. Apprehensive is I cannot make a mistake.
All right, Mr. Romo, I want to give you 60 seconds for closing arguments to answer what Mr. Cochimilio has said.
Sure.
Mr. Cochimilio, you have 60 seconds for your rebuttal. The jury will go into deliberations, and the court will render their verdict.
There we go.
Because we'll be here all night.
Here we go. All right. Look at this guy.
Mr. Romo, you're out of order.
So Counselor Cochimilio suggests, because he's the #1 draft pick, that this man should have all the rope in the world to be able to figure these things out. Look, there's a lot of #1 picks in Major League Baseball that have never made it. Never made it. You got to work. This is a tough profession to excel at. Not even to excel at, even just to stay up in the major leagues. It's difficult. You got to go out there every day and you got to prove yourself that you are worthy of the position that they were giving you. You got to be able to make those plays and show that you are a viable shortstop. We're not asking you to be a Gold Glove shortstop. We're asking you to be a viable shortstop so that you can be part of this organization. And today, from what I saw with my eye, he is not putting forth the effort. And I will stand by. That was a lazy throw.
Mr. Romo, you rest.
Prosecution rests.
Okay.
May I cross-examine the?
Unfortunately, Mr. Cochimilio, no, you cannot. This is a closing statement. You cannot cross-examine.
Right. First of all, I got 60 seconds. Is that what I get?
Sir.
All right.
That'll turn into 60 minutes.
I'll
Oh, who said that? Who said that?
It's a good thing I haven't gone in on this. I have.
Yeah. And can we remove this Gabe guy? I can't stand. I have to look at Cap.
He's so good looking.
He's messing with you. That's
distracting.
cryptic. That's cryptic.
Just kind of keep looking over him, just like, oh my god.
Will the juror please change the food reviewer, because we actually won't be able to conduct the trial. Can we get a better picture up there at least?
Can we get a different muscle man?
Can we have him from the video
Just
where
walk
he's
faster.
flexing on the beach?
Guy.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, I keep envisioning a cheetah-thong. I'm like, oh my.
All right.
Hey,
Anyway,
objection, Your Honor. My colleague
The
is
boiler's
throwing
back.
out
Perfect.
shade at me.
You farted on me. You farted.
Are you the one controlling all these pictures?
Hey, no Canadians.
Yeah.
All right, let me get my 60 seconds. All right.
Whenever you're
First
ready,
of all-
Mr. Cotamilio.
First of all, I respect my.
There's a
Wait,
timer.
did it start already? Oh, okay, 2.8. I thought that was 28. I respect my colleague, but I will say this: him standing on his final point that Marco Luciano was lazy and it was a lazy effort. He has not played the game. He's admitted he's not played the game, so he wouldn't know exactly what it took to actually field the ball, get in position, and throw it, and have the pressure of making flawless plays. And what I believe Marco was doing there was making sure that he was not going to make a fielding error first and then get in position to throw a clean throw to first base. He did not want to overthrow it, and he just took too much time. It was not out of laziness. It was out of caution. So there's a big difference between laziness and caution. And I'll close with this. He says he doesn't belong up here. He's the best hitter on the team average-wise and in a limited amount of bats, but he's shown his last appearance 3 for 4 when he was in the lineup. The night before, he got the winning run by taking second, then taking third, and then scoring. So he is producing. You expect him to produce. He says he's not producing. He is producing. He's just made some errors defensively, and let him play, let him produce. This kid also, he's the same attorney who puts in the front, let the kids play, and has Luciano in there. So he wants Luciano to play.
Counselor, no personal attack.
Hey,
Please, counselor.
okay, hold on. I get a rebut.
No, he's unfortunately.
He wants.
Mr. Romo,
Wait,
you
hold
don't.
on.
No,
He
Mr.
wants to
Romo,
say
Mr. Romo, you
my
rest your case,
ability
Mr. Romo.
of
Closing
judging.
argument.
Case.
Hold on.
That was
Listen
closing
to this.
arguments.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
No, Mr. Romo. No, Mr.
Yes!
Romo. Mr. Romo.
You can't shut up!
Mr. Romo.
Shut up!
The appeal
I'm
process,
not
Mr.
going to attack
Romo.
your little league professional career.
Hey, you know what? You want to shut up? Fine. There we go.
Well,
It's not a one-sided.
This is very similar to today's court.
Right.
well, unfortunately, I don't have access to the controls. This is Dan's.
Okay,
We're
but no.
all just living in it.
Honestly, I've worked in some high pressure situations. Had nothing to do with baseball. Had to be with being deployed across overseas. All right. You want to talk about pressure? That was some pressure. I know what pressure is about, and I know what it means to operate under these stressful situations. And you must perform, because we're just talking baseball, right? This involved a whole different type of situation. I understand wholeheartedly what it takes about operating under pressure, and you must execute, because if you don't, there's consequences, whether it's in real life or whether it's in professional sports.
Okay, jury, you will deliberate with one another. Do you guys want to do that via the chat, or
Go
Dan
for it,
wants to
Cody.
put up a?
Are we putting a
I mean-
poll out, or are we just having the jurors here? These
I
Do a
don't
poll
know.
too.
I'm
Do a
biased.
poll as
so
Wanna
I'm
do a
not
poll?
gonna- I'm not.
I could do a poll.
Yes,
I could do a poll.
I have my feelings on this whole situation, but that's why I'm not in any jury here.
Hey, and one last thing I would just like to close with. Today was not an error. It went down as a base hit.
Yeah, I did.
Which I'll say this: I was there live, and when I saw it, I didn't. I mean, I hope this doesn't sway the jurors, when I saw it live, I felt the guy just beat it out. Because I was like, when the guy was hit the short and the guy threw it across the diamond, I was like, oh crap, he beat that out.
The poll's out there.
It didn't look.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't look from my perspective that he was loafing on the play. I mean, maybe he should have charged it, but I think he's all in his head right now.
I think it's in his head too, honestly. It's cryptic. I do think it's in his head. One thing about when you start thinking about things, and I also played high school. When you start thinking about it, you start doing step by step. Like, okay, I'm going to catch the ball. I'm going to reach back. I'm going to shoot. I'm going to throw. I'm going to make sure. And that looked like that to me. Like today's play didn't look like laziness. It looked like someone that was really searching and trying not to mess up. And when you do that, that causes what I saw. I think the Giants screwed him up. I do think he needs to go down because he screwed up, but not because he's lazy. Farhan really screwed with him, and I hope he's fixable. That's kind of what I saw today.
Kyle?
Sounds good.
Go ahead, Kyle.
It's pretty good. This is how we should run America. 2 jurors and be hung every time on everything. It's kind of interesting. I loved it. I'm like 51-49 because kind of agreeing with both. Was with Eric pretty much the whole time. Dan won me over. But you know what? Then I went back to Eric because at the end of the day, mental can wear you out more than physicality. I think just it's in his head. Like, he's a great player. He's athletic. If I were to say, let's all pretend no first base, I think he could play outfield, any position out there.
Problem is, what position? Who do you not play in out? That's the issue.
Right field.
There's only so many positions that you can play him right now.
I know. Yeah.
What do you think, honestly, Dan? What position do you put? Where do you put Luciano if he's not going to be your shortstop?
Where I put him?
Influencing the jury.
Where would I put Luciano right now? There's a guy by the name of Trenton Brooks playing first base.
Fair enough.
If it's in the field, I'm putting him at first base because it's a position that he should be able to field. It's going to take a while to actually really proficient. But DH is the natural spot for him.
Okay.
DH is the natural spot for him. But if you're not going to move Soler and you want his bat in the lineup, the only logical place you can put him, if you're not going to put him at short, is first, because he could learn that to be serviceable with about 3 or 4 days of practice at it.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I like DH. Look, if you're going to make the number 1 selection in your draft, Reggie Crawford, a bullpen guy, I think you can make Marco Luciano a DH, right?
Well, let's hear from Kevin, because Kevin's going to be pretty much the deciding vote.
All right, go for it, Kevin.
I agreed with both of you guys. Eric, I think that I would have sided with you if you might have, I don't think that Luciano's lazy, and
fair enough.
Fair warning, I didn't see the game today. I had to work. But I think if somebody would have mentioned, or Eric, maybe if you would have mentioned that, kind of having a bad mindset or mentality, because he's never been in the Giants' plans, and it doesn't seem like he's in the Giants' plans. And when you've made some of these errors, it starts to get in your head. Oh shoot, sure. Don't screw it up. Don't do this. Just get it perfect. And when you try and do perfect too many times, it doesn't work out. But I think also the other thing is that we can look at Luciano's numbers and everything, and he could do better in the field. But if we're gonna fire the guy, who are we gonna hire to replace him? And
right now it's wisely.
Right. And so I think the factor for me is that this team is just athletically just god awful. And that play that Luciano made after he pitched Randy for Flores, that changed the game. And that's if he's not playing defense that great, have him watch Ron Washington infielder drills on YouTube until he gets it right, and you can have him pitch run.
And here's the thing: are they working? Obviously, they got to be working with him. And those 4 days that he was riding the bench, he had to be in the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had to be in the field. You think he's gonna ride the bench and he's not gonna have any kind of infield work? That to me, that seems ludicrous.
He makes I've watched him in spring training. He makes most of the plays, and it's all mental once you get in your head. That's why I wouldn't bench him. Well, I would have let him work it out a couple more games, and then if he,
I don't want to see him go.
That's why I think there's something going on. I really think
the kid on the team. Don't trade him. Keep him on the team. Absolutely. He's not perfect, but keep him on the team.
Yeah,
Eric, Dan.
I mean,
go for it.
I've seen this guy play all the way going back to like 2020 or 21 when he was down in San Jose. I go to San Jose Giants games left and right, and the kid can play shortstop. And if you look at the scouting reports, he rates out of 50 out of 80 on fielding. He wasn't ever like a terrible fielder. His arm, what the big knack with the scouts was always about his arm. His arm always rated around to 45. And I mean, but they were saying, they've been saying this throughout his entire career that you probably have to move to a corner position or the outfield. The one correlation I see, and I don't know if you fellas agree with me, and this is scaring me. I see a lot of similarities between him and how they treated Joey Bart.
Yes, I agree.
I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Is there some kind of
for sure.
where we're looking at Crawford, where he was amazing, and we're going, why can't this kid be Crawford? And his perception's a little messed up. Like, is that, pretty possible?
Yeah.
It's like it flipped. It's like you got Crawford that's like a wall, but his hitting is kind of falling off, and now you got this guy that's just like hammering.
Well,
but he's kind of in his head and not fielding right, and it's kind of like it flipped.
Well, this is the reason why I wanted Crawford to stay with the team.
I did
not because he was going to be your everyday guy. He even said he wanted to mentor the new guys. Could it have been different if Crawford was mentoring Luciano rather than Ahmed?
But look at what he was doing last year with Casey Smith. All those cutaways to mentorship. Yeah.
Well, do you think it's?
I think it's on Farhan. I don't think.
I was just going to say Farhan.
Yes.
Look, he has gotten Farhan is getting rid of almost every piece of the old regime except he's got Webb and he's got some of the young guys, Matos, all those guys. But I mean, the older guys. He did not want Crawford here because he represented what the old regime and the championships and all of that. Even though Crawford had a meeting with him and said, look, I don't want to play full time. I just want to help Marco. And I think
and played for $2 million.
Yeah, I think you'd be getting more mileage out of Crawford mentoring Luciano than an Ahmed who's not part of the Giants organization.
1,000%.
I mean, you got Nick Ahmed, who's been a career Diamondback. If you had kept Crawford, how much do you think he would be out there pushing for Luciano? And he'd be saying stuff. Get off this kid's back. Get off this kid's back. He can play. I've watched him play. Nobody is defending Marco on this team in the organization. Mike Krukow, I'm sorry. He's been a disgrace. He has ripped this kid up and down. And he doesn't do that to some guys, but he, for whatever reason, he has been all over Marco Luciano saying he doesn't belong. He needs to go. You know what? This team needs some fire. It needs some guys that, when I saw him take second base and then third, diving in to both, I was like, we haven't had this since, gosh, I don't know.
Since Fred Lewis.
Yeah, Fred Lewis. There we go. Come on. This kid is 22 years old. He's just learning at some of this.
Dan, you would admit, though, that okay, we probably, I kind of agree with Kruk in one sense. His glove is not ready for the big leagues. His bat is, his speed
I know,
is.
but you don't have to. I agree his glove's probably not 100% ready, but say that he has such a powerful voice, Kruk. And I had to listen to Kruk for years talk about, this guy's a keeper about Christian Arroyo after 3 games. I'm like, give me a break. Christian Arroyo. Oh, he's ready for the big time.
Is he even in the league still or no?
Yeah, he's in the Boston organization.
Okay. And then, I've had to hear it with almost every guy that's come up that's had a good weekend, his first weekend. And, Luciano, he goes on KMBR, says he needs to go down and work on his craft. He's not a big league shortstop. What does that do for the fan base? I'm telling you, he's not going to be a long-term Giant because Kruko has a voice, and they are pushing him out the door. It's Trey Lance kind of all over again. It's James Wiseman. It's the top pick. It's the guy who's not meeting their expectations. And you know what? They're going to move on, and Marco is going to excel somewhere because that dude can hit.
Well, damn.
That's what pisses me off about these guys, about the Giants. They literally, every guy they bring up, they don't give him a chance. They just don't give them a chance. And I kind of was really quick while we're doing this. I was like a little quick research of Hall of Famers that got off to crappy starts. I'm looking, no comparison, but Cal Ripken. 1981 at age 20 came in and hit 128 with a 278 OPS and 40 plate appearances. They didn't bring him down. 82, he started worse. He had 4. He had 4 in that time, but he wasn't hitting worth a crap. Next year, he started out sucking also. It wasn't until after May, it's it right here, his average didn't climb past 200 the next year until after May 15th.
Mm-hmm.
In total, Cal Ripken had a 182 average and a 520 OPS to his first 51 career games, giving absolutely no indication of what was to come. If they would have given up on him, he would have been, no Hall of Famer. It was a different
time back then.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not even giving these guys 3 weeks. And that's what pisses me off. I mean, give him a month.
Mm-hmm. Well, would you say right now, since Matos and Ramos has been up, they're not giving them the situation that they're giving Luciano, right?
Well, because they're forced to do that with Ramos and Luciano.
Yeah, they're forced. But then the fear is Yaz comes. I mean, Slater comes up and one of them goes
and
down.
That's the thing. Wait till they come back.
Now,
so that pisses me off.
The question
Dan,
I have for
Eric.
Cody.
So, go ahead. Sorry.
No, Kyle. The question I have. Okay, if we all kind of see the writing on the wall with Luciano, and we all know Dan's a big trade guy, and I was throwing this trade out earlier to some people on Bleacher Report. What would you guys say if we flipped for Luciano for Bichette and Vladdy by trading Luciano, Wisenhunt, Birdsong, Meckler, and
the problem with Guerrero is I don't think Guerrero would be in any talks if his dad wasn't who he was. Like, he's just been pretty average for a while now.
And he's a free agent after next year, right?
Yeah.
Or after this year.
But would you
gotta lose a lot
for those two
for
guys?
a short amount of time.
Yeah.
It'd wipe out the farm system, but would you make the trade for those two guys?
Well, the farm system's not ranked that high anyway, so I don't know. I mean, I'd do it because it's simply if you want a Bichette and well,
that's who you really are going after.
Yeah,
that's
get
really
athleticism back.
Prize.
You do get that.
Yeah,
this whole situation is just
So I was gonna say, we talk about a lot of us in the chat and the show, you guys moving Luciano to first base. You think he would have fielded that ball that Chapman threw to win the game that hit the dirt and then went into the glove? I mean, that's a gnarly throw.
That was a great play by Wade.
Yeah,
it was a great play.
But look how Wade's amazing at first, but in the past few seasons he's gotten so much better at first.
Yeah,
I agree.
Luciano could do the same thing,
Yeah, I think Luciano, if he could play shortstop, he could play first, and he's tall enough. He's 6'2". He gives you a good target over there. Let's hear from Cody. Because he's been quiet.
Go for it, Cody.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this whole Marco Luciano situation, it's a lot. I mean, there were a lot of points on both sides. For starters, with the types of errors he's made, I will die on the hill that the Estrada one was absolutely on Tyro. You cannot throw a piss missile at him from 5 feet away and not hit him in the chest. As soon as that ball is not in the chest, it's just throwing the glove out, and it was up by the shoulder. So that's on Tyro. That was a misplayed ball. Should have charged it. Should have stepped on the bag himself. The Wade thing, he did not give him a lane to throw. When you're standing dead behind the fielder, it's like that's part of his job is to give him a lane and pick a side of the bag. So
just like a catcher has to have a lane on a
and should Marco have made a better throw? Yeah, but I mean, you're also not setting a guy up like your first baseman's not doing his part on that play, and that's the thing. The double clutch today, I mean, Alec Boehm is a veteran third baseman. He did the same thing to Tyro, where he double pumped and didn't get him in time 2 days earlier. He made like 3 other errors. I don't think anyone in Philadelphia is calling for Alec Boehm to get benched.
Sure.
You know, you got to give these guys time. But going back,
is he your shortstop in the future? Real quick,
no, he's not. But that's a separate issue I'm going to get to. Last season, Ellie De La Cruz plays half a season, makes 13 errors at short. Damn. No one cares. He's made 10 errors already this season. It's not even June at short. Nobody cares because he's hitting. O'Neal Cruz in the year before as a rookie made 17 errors. And here's one of my favorites. Marcus Semien. Does anyone know how many errors he made in 2015?
Oh, he was horrible. He was horrible.
35.
Damn.
35 errors.
I was going to say the 20s.
That was developed.
Wow.
Yeah. His bat was developing. No one cares.
And look where he is today.
Yeah. And so here's the thing. Like, he's not he really shouldn't be playing shortstop. Everyone has known this for years. And the Giants should have been addressing this. Like, this is where it's an organizational failure. Everyone has known this for years. They should have been addressing this and moving his position 2 or 3 years ago. So that way, when his bat was ready, they're not doing this crap where they're sitting there going, well, he can't field the position. Well, you know what? The Giants have made their bed. At this point, you just got to lay in it because his bat is ready, and that's more important. If at the end of the year he boots 30 balls, but you go into next season going, okay, his bat showed off, and now we think he's a legit 3 to 5 hitter, and then you figure out his position in the offseason. Like, that's where I stand on this. It's like, you already screwed the pooch. You don't get to turn around and now jerk around your prospect that's bat is ready to play today and say, oh, well, he's not sufficient defensively. Well, whose fault is that? Like, it's not like we thought he was a shortstop and he just can't play it. Like, he's not a shortstop, guys.
He's not a shortstop.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the Giants wouldn't move off of it. You're exactly right, Cody. And you know what else, Cody? Yeah. You said it with the they made their bed. They got to stick with it. What I don't understand what their thinking was. They said all along he's a shortstop. They never got off of it. And you made some great points about De La Cruz and Semien. Look at I just don't get how the Giants over 3 games. He's basically they're going to destroy him over 3 games because they happened consecutively. What did they expect? And then they throw him in the other night in the 9th inning cold.
Get a defensive replacement that just comes in the 7th or 8th or whatever.
That's all I've said the whole year. Start Luciano and Senior. You're correct. Wherever that comment went, where did it go? Senior, where did you go? He said something Dan wanted. Yeah, right here. Exactly. I wanted him at shortstop this year, and I wanted Ahmed as a backup defensive replacement. I'll die on that hill. Have you watched Marco, what he can do offensively? I don't understand why everybody is just
I've got a bunch on that too.
Who would have been a better coach? The one in the organization or Brandon Crawford that's played the most games in the history of the club?
That's what I didn't understand.
Yeah.
That's the issue I had with Crawford, not because he was going to be an excellent player, but because he was going to be able to mentor those young guys who were coming up.
I don't care who's coaching Luciano. Brandon Crawford's going to be a better coach, period. Sorry.
Senior, we get it that he's not a shortstop, but where are you going to put him? Where are you going to put him?
I think he should play outfield because he's rangy.
He's not ready to play outfield this year. You can't learn outfield in the major leagues on the fly. You've got to have had reps. The Giants did not prepare him. And you know what? I remember my point when I interrupted Cody. The Giants are doing this with Bryce Eldridge already. They scratched the pitching and said focus on hitting. Now, why didn't they do this with Luciano a couple years ago? Saw if they had a hitter and said, let's either make him a DH or a corner outfielder, because that's and those are trainable positions, the corner outfield in the offseason. But go ahead, Cody, finish up.
Could it be because of trade value? Shortstop is more valuable.
Could be.
Maybe. Hey, Dan, to your point, they did the same thing with Reggie Crawford. They didn't make him a hitter no more, and they made him straight up pitcher.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cody. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, you're good. Yeah, and I mean, like I was saying, though, like the bat's the most important thing to me, like at the end of the day, like developing him as a hitter. He's the best offensive prospect they have had since Posey? I mean, I know people liked Belt, but like Belt was never as highly touted as Marco Luciano. You have a guy that has the potential to be a legitimate lineup changing presence. So stop messing with him. Like, stop jerking him around. And I would actually push back. I know, Eric, you said that he didn't necessarily get promoted off merit. Mm-hmm. If you look at his history at every single level, single A, he just played well there. He got promoted from single A. He goes to high A. He gets the midseason promotion or late season promotion. He struggles, and you'll see a pattern with him. He'll struggle early, then he figures the level out. And then he was, 15, 20% better than league average, and they quickly pulled him up to double A. Actually, he dealt with injuries in high A and then, cooled off a little. But double A, he comes in after the back injury where he misses all of spring training. Mm-hmm. He strikes out like 40 to 50% of the time for about, a month. And then all of a sudden he hits like 300 plus with 1,000 OPS for a month straight. And they just quick pull him up to AAA. Like he doesn't spend long enough in these levels for the numbers to get to the point where everyone goes,
so why were they pushing him so hard?
His bat.
Yeah, because his bat is ready. But again, this gets
tons of offense.
Organizational. Yeah, the offense is there.
You think he should have stayed in Double A and Triple A longer before he got the call up?
No, I think they should have just moved his position. Like, I think at 22 years old, he's ready.
Well, you'd have to stay in the minor leagues to be able to learn a new position too, though, right?
But if they did it 2 years ago, he probably would be fine by now.
Yes,
but he's young enough to go back down even for a year and a half.
Be playable
and work on another position.
You don't want him down a year and a half. He's your best. He's probably.
I agree. I agree. It's crazy. The whole thing's crazy.
This guy could be a legitimate 30-plus home run once he gets his bat going, and he's gonna. Cryptic. You mentioned a couple of players like Ripken and somebody else. Matt Williams is not a Hall of Famer, but look at his first 3 years. He was awful.
And my last point regarding this whole situation would be, because I've seen a lot of people say that, they can't afford to, play him at short. They can't afford it. It's going to cost them games. This team was 5 games under 500 with all the veterans that are reliable on the field. And when the kids came up, they started winning. And they lost the right to sit there and be like, oh, we can't afford to worry about development of a player. Like, yes, they can. This team is not going to win a World Series. This team's not a championship contender. I know all you technically do is get there and, whatever might happen. But like this is not a team that should be so overly concerned about what they're going to, if they're going to win tomorrow, where they're just going to sacrifice one of the most important players' developments in their system.
Amen. That is so well said, Cody. That makes so much sense. You know what? That's what we've been touting on this show. Play the kids. You're not ready to win a World Series. And what an awesome point. All the reliable guys that were 5 games under, maybe the most boring product that I have seen in 20 years, just pathetic. They couldn't score more than 3 runs for 9 straight games. Jackson Reitz, who's no longer here, hits a home run in the 9th inning where they get the 4 runs in their 10th game, or it would have been 10 straight games. These kids come up and they start averaging 6-7 runs a game for a 10-12 game stretch. Coincidence? No, sorry. Not when you had 3 of the guys in the lineup. When Marco played, before they benched him, they were 8-1.
Yeah, I mean, if Marco's going to win you the game with his bat and his feet, you got to have him on the team. Because how many other guys on the team can do that?
None.
Take it easy, Cameron. Cameron's got to go.
All right, thanks, Cam. Hey,
appreciate it, man.
Did you make your final decision verdict?
Oh yeah, that I can do. It's looking by the poll. Sorry, Eric. Dan,
it's all good. It's all good.
You win the case.
It's all good.
Thank you.
Congratulations, counselor.
See you guys.
So that means
thanks, Cam.
Luciano's getting traded tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I'm out here too.
All right.
Bring
All right,
up
take it
Wiz
easy.
and Hud.
Thanks, Kyle.
All right.
You guys in the chat.
Who we got
I
left
wouldn't be
here?
shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if Luciano's traded at all. At all.
I wouldn't be
I think
either.
it's likely, but
I
I will say this: if he goes to another team, I hope everyone's prepared. If he goes to another team, I saw people that got angry when Adam Duvall, hit 30 home runs for the Reds. Like, this is going to be that, but on like just an enormously bigger scale. Like,
If he
this
gets
is
a
going to
chance
be
somewhere
Brian
else,
Reynolds.
he's tearing it up.
I said he's the George. It will be a George Foster situation. He will become an MVP candidate with a team because the right team will put him in a position to succeed. They will either move him to the outfield or they will be a DH. I could see him being similar to like a Jorge Soler, where he plays occasionally in the outfield and he DHs, and he will tear it up. But he is better than Jorge Soler.
Yeah, I mean, I would start him at DH now.
Right. I don't understand it. Why are you trying to protect the guy? Because you made the mistake of signing him and you're going to stick with that signing because you already forked out $12 million and you forked out $4 million to Yaz and you just gave $1 million to Pomerantz for a weekend at Bernie's. Come on.
Wow. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah, they gave Pomerantz $1 million and he's gone.
He's got a great agent.
Jeez.
Dan, you're wrong with the highest batting average on the team.
Wisely.
Oh, Wisely. Yeah. I forgot about him. You know
He's
why
playing,
I forgot?
though.
Yeah,
He's
you know
playing.
why?
You gotta
That's
give it to
coming.
him.
That's coming down. Come on. The league hasn't seen him. He's a fine player. He's a utility guy. Okay.
No, I
Brett
get it,
Wisely is
but
not
his
a
best
starting.
player. He came off the bench and immediately got a best.
Yeah.
base
I
hit
mean,
off the
I've
first
seen
one.
guys do this. I mean, look, Casey Schmidt tore it up for 2 weeks in the beginning of the
I get
season
it.
last
What
week.
I'm saying is that we can't say one guy's going to be absolutely fantastic, but this guy, you might not be even though they got the same numbers. You see what I'm saying? Currently.
Well, I'm going off the eye. Again, I'm going to put the eye chart out there.
Fair enough.
I don't base my things on stats because guys take time to work things out. Matt Williams, if Matt Williams came up today and did what he did the first 3 years of his career, there's no chance he would have saw a third year because
you're right.
He would have been Kruko would have had him run off the ship. Okay, he would have dropped anchor on him in the bay and buried his ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm tired of this this generation of.
Hey, what's up, TN? Good to see you back,
what
man.
up,
We thought we
TN?
lost you, buddy.
All right.
What's cracking, TN? Nah, jokes. Glad to have you, bro.
Man, we just got it back, man.
That's my fault. My bad.
Here's the question for Lucy.
Love it, TN. Thank you. Good to have you back.
If they do send him down to Sacramento, are they really gonna send him down and just be like, yeah, go play shortstop more? Like, do we think he's gonna improve with some hack coach in Sacramento, or if we want him to actually improve at shortstop, I would imagine being around guys like Matt Williams, Nick Ahmed, Tyro Estrada, Ron Wotus still goes out there. Like, if you actually want him to improve at shortstop, keep him up and keep him playing and let him be around those guys day in and day out.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, where did he develop into this so-called terrible shortstop that the Giants don't like? In Sacramento. So why would you want to send him back there,
It's just, I mean, if you want to send him down and be like, dude, we're moving you off this position and we're going to teach you short or teach you first or left field or whatever. Like, I just, if you're going to go teach him a new position, then fine, go send him down there for a month or two and let him get consistent reps at a new position. I can live with that. But if we're just sending him down to play shortstop, it's just idiotic, for lack of a nice way of putting it. So
yeah, I agree. It bothers me to watch this organization not recognize the talent and the lack of. I mean, we all see it, and they continue to do the same thing with people. Matos, another example. Why is he in the leadoff position? He's not a leadoff hitter. He doesn't take enough pitches. He doesn't get walks. He's a guy that will go up and with runners on base, he's going to excel because that's what excites him, man. He's going to go up and hit. And you put him in the leadoff position, and he's just tanked since then. Put him in the second spot or the fifth spot. And I don't know
I think you guys have talked about this a little bit too, but it's just when you look at some of these people in the lineup and where they're at, you're going, who the hell's making the lineup? Because if Bob Melvin's this old guy who's been in baseball forever, why the hell would he be putting Matos in the leadoff spot who doesn't really, he's super aggressive and he doesn't draw walks? There's so many things that just kind of don't make sense sometimes, and it just makes you scratch your head.
Giovanni, would you just listen, please? Where's your comprehension skills? Dan, Matos is hitting. Now you want him down. I just said move him to second or fifth. Okay.
Giovanni, you're a liar.
Gosh, you don't have a very good comprehension skills at all.
Is hitting a guy second really moving him down?
It's like moving him down. Yeah. Send him back down to Sacramento is what I said, Giovanni, right?
I like his situational hitting. He puts the ball in play. Like he's an ideal number 2 hitter to me.
Yeah, exactly. I've always thought 2. Last year when he came up, I said, put him in the 2 spot. Put him in the 2 spot. He's, Chapman. No, not in the 4 spot. Please. Chapman is going to serve you best at 6 or 7 on this team.
Yeah.
On this team. 4, you're expecting way too much out of Chapman. And, he's back down to, let me give you the averages of Chapman. He's down to 237. Okay. He reached 249, 250. I told you he's going to go up and down because that's just who he is. And who else was down? Yaz he didn't play today, did he? But Yaz is way down. If I was running this team, I would play. This is what I would do. You don't really have a leadoff hitter, okay? You just don't. But I would probably put Wisely at the leadoff position right now because there's nobody else to take it. He's a singles, doubles guy. I would put him at actually what I might do, this might sound crazy to some of you, but he does strike out a lot, but he also takes a lot of pitches and works counts, and he's got speed. I would bring Sable up and put him at first base. And then I put.
I'm not against bringing up Sable. He does give you a good at bat. He was one of the best hitters.
Yeah, I put Sable in the leadoff position.
Has he played much first?
Yeah, he's played first.
He's 44 innings in the minors, but he played first earlier, like in college
Pittsburgh,
or something.
USC and a little bit of Pittsburgh organization. So
we can pick it.
This is what I would do. I would go first. I just put Sable at first base for now, lead him off, and then I put Matos in the 2 hole. 3, when he's back, I put Conforto in left field. 4, I would actually put probably Ramos, right? Believe it or not.
Clean up.
4, 5, but 4, 5. Let's see. I've got. I would probably go Tyro 5 in. Let's see.
Where'd you have Matos at?
2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I would do for my lineup? I would maybe put trying to figure out where I want Fitzgerald in my lineup because of his speed. I just think speed does something and it puts pressure on. I don't know if I'd play him in the outfield or DH. My outfield would be I'd put Conforto as my DH and then I would put probably who's better fielder, who's center fielder, Matos or Fitzgerald, do you think, Cody?
Probably Matos.
Oh, Matos.
Yeah. Okay, so
I would take Matos just because
put
it's
Fitzgerald
more natural for him.
Yeah. Put Fitzgerald in left, and
now that they backed him up. But the problem is and this is why they did it the way they did it today is Fitzgerald he should be able to play a corner, but he's basically exclusively played center field.
right.
So if you're playing them both out there, you probably end up having to go and putting them out in like right field would be a nightmare, I think.
I like Ramos. I like Ramos personally in right, and
I do too.
I think Fitzgerald could play left, Matos in center, and I forgot about Bailey. I would put Bailey in the 5 spot, maybe in the 4. Maybe you put him in the 4 spot, and you get that righty lefty going. You get Sable, and then Matos, and then Conforto, and then Conforto 3, Bailey 5, yeah, Ramos 4, Bailey 5, 6 Estrada, 7 Chapman, and then 8, 9. I think you've got what am I missing?
Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Fitzgerald. And then who am I missing at 9? What am I missing? I did first base, second, short, third, catcher, left.
Who is your DH, Conforto?
Conforto, yeah.
I think you got everyone. I think
I must have just missed that.
Yeah.
But I like the combination of some speed and I mean they're not going to do that. They signed Soler. They're going to play Soler. So I'm just saying what I would rather see.
He's tough right now, man.
Because I think they won that game last night because of Fitzgerald's speed, tagging up to get to third, and then that wasn't anybody else on third base. That might be and if that throws lower on line, even if that throw was low and didn't go over the head, I still don't think they get Fitzgerald because he was moving.
He's got wheels.
Yeah. And, if you give the kid a chance to play, not just once or twice every 7, 8 games, but play him, he's going to produce. He's going to, he was killing it in AAA, but he's not going to hit 6 homers in a week up here. He might get you a couple. But he's going to get on base. And whoever said it earlier, they don't play these kids. They don't give the kids more than 2-3 weeks. They're doing that now with Matos and Ramos because they don't have any other outfielders. But I don't think – do you think – we talked about this last night, Eric and I, of the 3 kids, Matos, Ramos, and Luciano. The thought was that 2 of the 3, if those guys come back, Ahmed and Conforto and Slater, the 2 of the 3 are going to go down. Do you buy that 2 or 3, or do you think one of the 3's going to?
I think Luciano's a kind of a given at this point. Yeah. He's going to go down. Especially, if he did tweak his hamstring, like he's going down and they're not going to bring him back up. Like that's going to be that they'll just use it and they'll throw him down there and then they'll
just let him rot in AAA.
And, but Matos and Ramos, that's a tough one. I mean,
there's no room. So you got to make a move somewhere, right?
Yeah. So they have, you can keep a guy you can rehab a guy for 20 days. So Slater might be there for a while, especially if he's not hitting right now. I could see them keeping him down there for using up that time and trying to see if Matos and Ramos continue to force the issue.
0 for 4 tonight for Slater again.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to look. Did he have strikeouts?
No
strikeouts.
Oh, that's an improvement.
It is.
Did he face a righty?
Keuchel.
The one that I bagged on Slater for earlier this year was
he went against Keuchel.
Not the same Keuchel that won the Cy Young.
Yes.
Really?
He's still around?
Yes.
What's he, 38 now or something like
Tacoma.
that? Good Lord.
Oh,
he's with the Mariners.
Yep.
Mariners system, yeah.
He went 5 innings.
Well, Giants will probably make a trade for him.
But yeah, but yeah, I mean, I if they don't force the issue, then and they both just go ice cold, then I could see them trying to use that as the excuse to bring Slater up. But I mean, if they continue to play well, it's like at some point you're just gonna have to make the decision on Austin Slater and either DFA him or trade him. Like I don't. It's when your success completely coincides with Matos and Ramos playing. I mean, they're 14-7 since Ramos got called up, and I think they're like, I want to say they're 13-6 since Matos got called up. It's like and started playing. So how do you justify that when? I mean, I don't know. You can't justify it to the fans when you can't dump those guys down.
Especially when you got guys like Soler who aren't doing nothing. Who's hot and cold. I mean,
they can't justify $20 beers. They can't justify a lot of things.
Yeah.
No, they're just gonna do whatever the hell they want.
Damn Skippy.
Yeah. It's just I don't. To me, that'd be a fireable offense, especially Ramos the way he's playing right now. Like it's plain.
He's done everything that and more.
Look at if you go on like his Baseball Savant page and look at they have the batted ball metrics, and like he doesn't qualify enough to be in the percentile, but you can kind of get an idea just based on where the little heat thing is, and it's like every batted ball metric is elite. His chase rate is better than 50% or 50 percentile, so it's above league average. His walk percent has now jumped up into like it's probably in the 60-70 percentile range. Wow. He's walking at a well above league average clip. The only thing for him is swing and miss and strikeouts right now. Like his whiff percentage and his K percentage are up. So it's just, and that's what you've known with Ramos forever. It's like this guy has swing and miss, but he's making good swing decisions. And when he hits the ball, he's hitting the crap out of it. So let him, and I still think the whiff and the K percentage are going to improve as he gains experience in the majors and faces major league pitching, game in and game out. So it's like, why would you continue to mess with this guy? So I don't know.
You want to come in tonight, Tien?
Get Tien in here.
Welcome back, Tien. We missed you, man.
Hey, Dan, can you listen to Tim Kawakami by chance? Do you have Apple Podcasts by chance?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, wait, it's playing. Oh, hold on. I got it. We need to listen to this. I don't know when you want to listen to us, but we probably should take a gander just to see what it sounds like, huh?
Is this the Greg Johnson thing?
Yes. Is it good?
I have no idea. I haven't heard it.
How long is it?
Me neither. 32
I'm going to be
minutes.
listening to that tomorrow.
32 minutes.
Well, I don't know. I don't think we want to listen to all 32. We might want to listen to a couple minute clip of it.
You want to listen to a little bit? Let's see what we got here.
Pull up a couple minute clip. Maybe if it's good, we let it go for a little bit.
Sure. All right, here we go.
Guys, on this note, I'm going to head out. But
green light can help.
Take it easy, man.
Farhand fired. Thank you.
Thanks, Kev. Appreciate it.
Kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money all season long.
Is the TK Show.
Hey, everybody. It's Tim Kawakami here at the TK Show.
Can we play this?
From the home studio.
I don't know.
I'm very, very glad to have on my guest.
Can we?
I don't know. Is Apple going
to come at you guys?
I don't know.
He might. Maybe not then.
Yeah, we're putting it out on YouTube. What did he put it out on? Did he put it out on his Twitter?
No, it's on his Twitter. That's where I hit the link. The link was on his Twitter.
I would think if it's on his Twitter, then
the link was on. That's where I played it off of. I'm playing it off of
I think it's cool off of Twitter because it's out there on people on Twitter put it on all kinds of formats, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Senior says, yes, play it. What the heck? It's not his channel.
Yes, no, otherwise, what do you guys think?
Yeah, let's hear it for a few minutes. Maybe
booked this maybe 10 days ago. and your Giants are, I think, 8-2 since we booked this. So I'm not going to take full credit. The podcast doesn't deserve full credit for this, but maybe about 95% of the credit should go to the karma of the podcast. Are you okay with that, Greg?
Absolutely. Yes.
How are you feeling about things? Baseball seasons can go in a lot of different ways. It wasn't looking great for a while there. It certainly has looked really good with these chances to sweep the Phillies today. We were recording this on Wednesday morning. That won the first 2 games against the Phillies after getting swept in Philadelphia, I think at a real low time. Where are you?
Today, the energy of a lot of the young players coming up, has been just tremendous. And it's just great to see the engagement with the fans. And last night's game was, I think, one of the best baseball games I've seen in a long time.
You mentioned the young guys. You mentioned that game. Luis Matos drives in the winning run in extra innings with a sacrifice fly. You have seen these young guys, and I don't think it was planned that Luis Matos certainly wasn't going to be your starting center fielder for the rest of the season. You had Jung-Hoo Lee, certainly not a old player, but he gets injured out for the season. Elio Ramos is up because of injuries to other people, including Martin Conforto. You've seen some, a lot of young players that maybe weren't scheduled to be major contributors jump right in and be major contributors. Is that the thing you get from this season, Greg, so far, that you're getting these kind of, performances out of the young players who are so vital to, the future of this team?
Yeah, and I just think it speaks to the depth of the organization and really the farm system, which has been a weakness really for us. And we try to, we really try to band-aid a team together through free agency to stay competitive, and we haven't had that lift from the farm system. I think as hardcore fans, we're more familiar maybe with Matos and Ramos and Luciano than we are with some of our starters. Because we watched these guys, we've been watching their development. We knew they were very close. They're still very young, and you don't want to push guys up too quickly. But I think we always felt confident that these players, could be the players for our future. And I think it just bodes well. And I think anytime, you bring youth up and bring that energy up, it just lifts the whole team. And I think that's what we're seeing right now.
You mentioned the farm system, and you mentioned there hasn't been a lot coming up from that. I guess I'll get into a little bit of the negative here. I mean, I respect a lot of things that Farhan Zaidi has done. I've said that. Certainly there's been no bottoming out. It's been, after winning 107, you win 79 and you win 81, or vice versa, how that flipped that. What do you think about the farm system, the development of the farm system? Has that been something that's been, tweaked, looked at, adjusted? And do you see like real major improvements coming from just the players you're getting from the farm system?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it has been frustrating. I mean, we looked at, our first round picks, say, over the last 5-7 years, and we were probably ranked near the bottom of the league in WAR contributions. And that's just going to make it very tough to be competitive, with the team. I think, drafting position players is extremely difficult, and you need a little bit of luck in there. And unfortunately, a lot of our younger players, did have injuries. It took them a while to get up to the majors. But if you look today, look at where we are, and I give credit to Farhan and the scouts for the depth we have. We have a lot of young players right now in the minors that are, are winning awards every week, playing extremely well. Even Hunter Bishop now that was a top pick and had injuries, is playing extremely well, and that bodes well for us. So I think there's a lot of depth there in the farm system. So the trend is absolutely in the right direction. But drafting position players, especially in later rounds, I mean, the only sure picks are pitchers in the early, probably the first round generally. But I think from player development standpoint, you're seeing these young guys come up with smart at bats, looking ready, looking confident. And I think you've got to be patient at times with that. And I think we have been, but I'm very encouraged, by what we're seeing now coming out of the farm system and what really bodes well for the years ahead.
You talked about having to try to make do with,
You know what, though? Come on. Who are the guys that are producing, though?
The patience with the young guys, and they're ready to ship Luciano back. I don't see any patience.
That's why he said that on a podcast, because he couldn't keep a straight face while saying that.
Yeah, come on, man. We all know who's contributing to the team right now. Come on, man.
I just don't like the message that the whole, they're sending, Melvin, the first night they brought some of the young guys up and they didn't play well. They made some mistakes. And it's like, he says, well, we have to deal with this in the interim. And then what do? They rattle off like 8 out of 10 right after he says that. And all those kids were the ones that were right in the middle, big time.
And the vets, like the veterans on this team see it. Like they all see what's happening. And what I can't shake is like, how on earth would Farhan or Bob Melvin go up to a guy like Matt Chapman, who's been around the league for a long time now? He's won a lot of games. He's been to the playoffs quite a few times. He's accomplished a lot in his career. He's clearly one of the leaders of this team. And how do you go up to a guy like that with a straight face and tell them, if you decide to bring up Austin Slater and then send Elliot Ramos down, how do you tell him with a straight face that you are actually trying to win?
Yeah.
Good point.
Like, the players are going to call straight through that BS. Like, it's not like you just can't. Like, that's why I'm like, that's where I get to where I don't think they're going to end up doing it, because you're going to lose a lot of respect in that clubhouse. And yes, some of these guys like Chapman and them, and Yaz, like, I'm sure they're friendly with Slater and or friends, or they like the guy, but they all feel the impact the young guys have had. They all feel how it's energized the club. They all see the results. They're not.
Well, and it's also competition to a certain extent, right?
Yeah, and it sends a horrid message to everyone else in the system, both young players, especially young players, like, hey, great, you can earn a position, and we don't care. And for the veterans, by actually making this move, it also sends a message of produce. Or there's a kid there's a kid that's
going to take your job,
wants to take your job and will take their job, or might take your job if you give them the opportunity to. So go out and produce.
This is why I am bullish on a team like Cincinnati, because they played their young guys last year and they're hurt. They got a lot of guys hurt, but they just swept the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're starting to play better. They still got a ways to climb out of the hole, but it's such a long season. I think they're going to be competing in the wild card race. But I look at Cincinnati right now, and they are 24-32. They're 8.5 out of the division, but in the wild card, they're only 4.5 out. That can be made up in a couple of weeks.
Have a hot week like the Giants.
Yeah. And they are, once they get healthy, I think, they're missing Strand and a couple other guys I'm trying to think of. But, they're building something there. They're not they know they're not ready to win a World Series, like you said, Cody, but the Giants think they can win the World Series.
Yeah, I know.
That's the difference. The Giants are thinking, and they're putting all their eggs in these older vets and paying them big money at the expense of destroying the confidence of a guy like Marco Luciano, who eventually is probably either going to get traded or he's, I don't know what they're thinking, but if I see that bat and a guy that can smack it off the bricks in right field, like he's doing, fungo practice, hitting fungo balls, he can hit it out that far off that right field wall pretty much with ease. With just a nice, easy stroke to right field. That's how much power he has. And he's going to get it going. I know some people are saying, well, he's only had one home run in Sacramento and this and that. As you said, Cody, once he gets his swing dialed in and he gets hot, homers, they start coming in bunches. And I'm disappointed that the way he's been treated and handled. You know, if it were me, I would have just left him alone at shortstop. I might have given him a day off the Saturday night. They gave him off, but I would have had him back in there Sunday against Mania and then just said, you know, and I get it. You want Wisely in there. Find a
Dan,
spot.
listen to this. Listen to this.
What's that?
I'm trying to find spots here that have something here. Just listen.
You know, at the end of the day, I think it's really more about the ballpark and just, you know, home runs and ease of hitting home runs, going after those big players, you know, the big home run hitters.
With these expenditures that you've made, is making the playoffs essential this season? I mean, do you make that a mandatory in your mind?
Well, I think it's mandatory every year, you know, for us to be hopeful of making the playoffs. And I think we've got a team that should make the playoffs. It's very competitive in National League West. There's a lot of good teams right now vying for those wild card spots. So it's going to be a good race. But, you know, I think we should make the playoffs this year. And I think if we do make the playoffs and we get some pitching back and get a Robbie Ray back in the second half and Cobb back, we could have one of the most formidable starting pitching staffs in baseball, which again puts us in a great position, you know, should we make the playoffs. But I think in the meantime, we'll just take it game by game and do what we're doing right now.
On the front of expenditures, you did famously say in the Bob Melvin press conference, something I'll just say right now, I did not think was that a terrible thing to say. I know owners always think like the words you uttered, which is what the hope is to somewhat break even. But it did, as you know, it received a very, very loud reaction from many Giants fan base who want owners to say, we'll do anything. I understand that. I get the fan sentiment. They don't necessarily want to hear about the bottom line. But Greg, were you surprised at the backlash you got for that? And can you further explain what that comment meant?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it was a naive statement by a control person that learned a lesson. Not to use that word ever again, and I won't use that word ever again. And I was just making a point again that we represent, you know, a group of investors, and we'd rather not lose money every year. But I think what we've shown is that this group's mission is to win championships, and we will lose money to do that. I made a comment again. We'd like to break even. I said that's pretty hard to do. Ooh, I just said the word again. That was terrible.
two words, Greg. 2 words.
But yeah, 2 words. Sorry, but you'll never hear that out of me again. And I think we backed that up by, I think the point I made is in the right situation we will go over luxury tax, and we showed we did that this year because we thought it was the appropriate thing to do to build a competitive team this year. And
what do you think, Dan?
About his comment there? Or?
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
He's backtracking.
No, I think what he really, I think from what he's saying as a controller, we'd like to break even if possible. But I do remember him saying we would go over the luxury tax in certain situations, and there did.
Was a second half to that statement.
Yeah,
a lot of people ignored it.
Yeah, so I don't have a problem with it because they, I just don't think they spent it that wisely, some of the money, but they did spend it. I think they would have been better suited doing a little bit different in the spending, but it wasn't a great year for free agency. Let's be honest. I mean, your best prospects were really, it was Ohtani and Yamamoto, and we knew where they were going, and Bellinger was at the top. I mean, look, Matt Chapman was one of the most coveted as far as not by teams, but not that many people really went after him.
I was just going to say, yeah.
He was the coveted isn't the right word. I should say he was listed as one of the top free agent position players, which tells you how weak of a year it was because he's not a big time hitter. He does hit the ball hard when he hits it and all those metrics and stuff like that. And he's unbelievable third baseman. And, just playing third base, he wins you games with his glove. We've seen it. We've witnessed him win games, literally win games with his glove. But his bat is going to be up and down. He's not a guy that whoa, he's going to hit you 265 and drive in 90 runs and knock in 25 homers. That he's just not that kind of player. But he has spurts, and we just witnessed it on the road trip.
Yeah.
He was, for that road trip, he was the MVP of the league.
Yeah.
But does he consistently?
Is it consistent? That's the key.
I mean, not according to his back of his baseball card. It's not. I mean, he's capable. I would say that the potential is there. He's done it, but he's not done it consistently. That's my thing.
Yeah. I mean, the Giants have shown, like, I've never been one to sit there and call the Giants cheap in the sense that, like, they don't, spend money, because you look at where they fall on payroll most years, and they're usually
Top
pretty
12.
far up there.
It's how they spend it.
It's how they spend their money. And also the fact that they're always willing to go well above market for like middle tier players. Yeah. And, the Mitch Hanigers of the world, the Confortos, you can make the case for Jung-Hoo Lee, who that's more of the maybe like middle upper tier, but they don't, like the top tier guys, they don't go say, Juan Soto is going to be a free agent. Do we think they're going to go out and be like, oh, the highest offer is 500. We're going to just go 6 and see if anybody will be, join us? No, they're not going to do that. They're going to bid the same or like a smidge below of whoever comes in with the bet, whoever signs them, and they'll bid just enough to finish second. And that's how they always treat the top end guys.
Because the bottom line is they really don't want to spend the money on that. No. Because if they did, the whole bull crap about they offered the same as for Ohtani. Come on. You think apples being apples, that he's going to choose the Giants over the Dodgers?
Exactly.
Come on. Your only chance of getting Ohtani was to go over $1 billion. Yeah. And frankly, had they done it, it would have been a good investment for them. Yeah. Because it would have paid off with whether it paid off in the field or not.
Money back.
But they would make that money back. Yeah. But how many Japanese reporters and everything would be here, and fans and the sellouts, the excitement. You'd have practically every game sold out. But the Giants weren't going to do that. You think they would have had to go out and spend $1.5 billion this year, because Ohtani pretty much said, I took deferment so you would be able to add players. Why do you think Yamamoto's a Dodger?
Yeah.
It's so I don't think they were at all interested.
Yeah. Well, and it's like the Harper deal. He signed with the Phillies. And I saw a lot of people say, oh, well, the Giants offered more, annually. And you looked at it and it's like, it was a couple $100,000 that they offered more a year. And I'm like, okay, and here's the breakdown on taxes. And guess what? After taxes, he's making like $2 million more a year in Philadelphia. So no, they did not offer him more. Like maybe for his ego, whatever, like the annual, but the real money, no, it wasn't more.
Right.
So,
right.
And they can try and pull that. And they've tried to pull that excuse where it's like, oh, it's California taxes. And I'm like, I don't see the Padres, Dodgers, or, Angels having any issues signing to people.
Okay, real quick because we're getting kind of long here.
Yeah.
Here is some information about Farhan Zaidi.
And we're just thrilled to have him back in the park, and all that helps the decisions in the offseason.
How would you evaluate? This is, I think, Farhan's 60th season in charge. There's been a lot of highs. There's been some not highs. Where do you see how this franchise shapes up?
Wait a minute. Cut for a second.
Where it was when he started on this.
A lot of highs, 1 year.
Exactly. Come on.
There was a lot of highs in that 1 year, Dan.
Yeah. There you go. All right, here we go.
Yeah, I think, again, it really goes back to the farm system and what he inherited, and just didn't have a lot coming up. And we had to make a lot of, smaller moves, continue to move people around. And again, that's not great for
He said the farm wasn't good. Who's producing right now out of the farm? Is that what he just said? He said that he
objectively,
inherited
it was
a farm
not good, but they
but
have.
who are the guys that are producing?
Yeah.
Come on. Whatever.
I mean, the hard thing is even if Farhan gets canned after this season or before the season ends or anything like that, like the reality is whoever takes over, like some of these guys that Farhan's acquired are going to end up probably being good players and producing.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people are going to go, oh, well, see, his tenure wasn't that bad. And it's like, yes, it still was. It didn't change anything just because, 5 years from now, these guys hit
right.
So
fan engagement. But if you look at the kind of players, the Lamont Wades, the Tyro Estradas, the guys that he went out, and even he was criticized for drafting Patrick Bailey at the time. People forget that. Said, why are we drafting a catcher? We already have a number 1 pick. And I think, he is going to make decisions that may not be popular at times, but ones that, are right for the organization. And I think, going out and getting Patrick Bailey was an example of him finding the best talent that he saw out there and bringing that into the organization. And I think we've been well served. And I would say, again, looking at the minor league depth we have and how these players are moving up and looking at the depth of pitching we have, I think we're among the best right now in baseball. So I think a lot of that should be attributed to Farhan. And the fact that we stayed competitive with a team that didn't have that lift from the farm system, I think is a testament to Farhan as well. So I think, it was a difficult position to be in where you had to, move players in and out. You had to platoon pitchers. It's easy to criticize that, but we did stay competitive in a, pretty difficult place as far as, having players moving up.
This team search.
He never answered the damn question about Farhan, man.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
He
danced around that crap.
He basically said Farhan's going to be here.
He's going to be here. Yep. Farhan's sticking around, man.
They like what Farhan's done. I mean, how do you go about that and give him a glowing review and then turn around and fire him?
Yeah, he's not fired. He's coming back, man.
I mean,
and he didn't.
Teams do it all the time about players.
What did he do? He's been here for 6 years, and he talks about one player that he drafted.
No,
Get out of here, man.
He talked about Bailey, and then he talked about he went out and found Wade and Estrada.
About the draft.
Notice he didn't mention Yaz.
Where was the mention of Stripling and Haniger and Manaya and who else? DeSclafani and all the other mid guys that came and went.
La Stella and
La Stella.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you look at the roster overall, it's not like he's done horrible to the sense that he has brought nobody in. He has, as again, we talked about, you look at first base, you look at second base, you could say, okay, he signed Chapman, he signed Conforto, he drafted Fitzgerald, I think, right? I think that was part of his.
Yeah.
I
think so.
He's drafted Fitzgerald. He went out and he brought in some pitching. He signed Hicks. He's done some things that you can't just say he hasn't had any success. But it's the things that we're left with, the tweaking of the back end of the 40 incessantly for 6 years of bringing in guys. And then, look, McKenna, what purpose did he serve for? Like
Pomeranz.
Yeah, I mean, I get it that you're looking for depth, and sometimes you DFA these guys, they clear waivers. Now you got him as a non-roster guy. I get that. That seems to be his modus operandi of, look, I'll get guys that have been released. Other teams are not likely to pick them up if I release them again in a couple weeks. I gained. It's kind of like fantasy trading, Look, I picked up this guy, I stash him, put him on, and then,
Right.
but he doesn't go out and make the big trades.
Just like D-Shot said with this $5 super chat, does Farhan have the onions to trade for a first baseman? If so, who could they realistically get?
Yeah. See, he doesn't go out and make the moves
They're
that,
not gonna get nowhere.
that have to be made. Perfect example. Last year, you're in the wild card driver's seat. You're the number one position at the trade deadline. You got 2 months left in the season. You couldn't tell that your bullpen was getting taxed and went out and picked up a couple of relievers and a couple guys that can play around the diamond. So he turns around and does nothing but gets AJ Pollock and says, I mean, what message were you sending to that locker room? That, and I guarantee you that locker room was deflated after the trade deadline. And,
my favorite was how he said after the season he wished he would have given Ramos more of a look.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, bro, you traded for AJ Pollock.
I know.
Like,
but the D shot, to answer your question, no, they realistically won't get no one at first base.
Well, and I mean, honestly, who's out there? Like, that's the other part. Like Pete Alonso, maybe, which I'm not big on dumping top prospects for a guy that's probably going to walk after the season. For a team that I don't really think is ready to compete for a championship. I mean, who else is really out there? Vladdy. I mean,
we talked about that yesterday. I don't think Vladdy's not going to make a big difference.
He's a good player, but I just don't. He's not.
Wade's having a better year than him, other than home runs.
Like, I'd rather just let Wade ride it out for the year, and or maybe even another year because he's under contract for one more year with arbitration. Let him ride it out for the next year and a half or whatever, and hopefully Eldridge is ready in a couple of years, or maybe you get Luciano moved to first base. Like, I don't know, but I'm fine with what we got there for the interim when Wade is healthy, which,
whatever.
He's not today.
It's pretty discouraging hearing that, but who knows? Yeah. I mean, it is a podcast. Does it mean anything? Maybe not.
Yeah, they blow smoke all the time in those.
Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't. It's sure what. Well, one thing I can't say is sure it wasn't a ringing endorsement of Farhan either.
No.
If you think about it, it's not. But it's also not really criticizing either. So it's kind of.
I mean, what is he going to say? As of right now, they're in a wild card spot. If the season ended today, if it was a COVID season, they'd probably be in the playoffs. So it's like he's sitting there and they're in wait and see mode. They're going to see, because to me, a lot matters on what do the young guys do the rest of the year? Do they develop into where you look like you have a core of young guys that you're going to have year in and year out? And if you're not going to have that, like, is this a playoff team? Because if they're not, then I don't know how on earth you could justify keeping him. But I mean, he should have been gone last season, in my opinion. But it is what it is.
I know. Oh well, it is what it is. Well, Dan, we're almost at 2.5.
Yeah, we're going to close it out here. I got something there for you. Just what you read that there. Anyway, when are you doing your next? Are you doing a show tomorrow night?
I think I might. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. Okay. Maybe.
All right.
Yeah, I saw that too. Dan.
Yeah.
Maybe one more time. What do you think?
Yeah. One more. Yeah, one more. So, I mean, the whole thing on, I mean, we just touched on this whole thing with Johnson and Farhan. Baseball people across the board, across the nation, they see it. I mean,
yeah, they do. Everyone's saying. Mad Dog is saying it.
What was it that last
Tim
year?
Verducci.
Tom Verducci.
Yeah,
if this is the future of baseball, I don't want any part of it. It's boring. It was boring this year too, until they brought up the kids by default. They had no athleticism on this team. You look at the roster he constructed. I'm sorry. Ahmed, meh. You had Estrada's pretty athletic. Chapman's pretty athletic. Yaz, he's a good fielder, can't hit. Lee, looks like an exciting young player, but he's not going to drive the ball that much. Good player.
A lot of ground balls.
I like him. Just a lot of ground ball. I think, an overpay. Conforto is okay. Lamont Wade, sadly, and he was having a unbelievable season.
He was.
He was the Giants' all-star for sure. And Lamont Wade's game has gotten really good. And I am just I just hope he's able to come back and pick up where he left off, because sometimes you get a hammy like that, and I don't know. He had a good year last year. He's starting to hit lefties. Remember, he couldn't hit lefties in 21 and 22.
Couldn't do nothing with lefties.
I mean, he couldn't do nothing.
Nothing. Pure platoon player. Pure.
Yeah. So we'll see. I just, my biggest thing with this team going forward is, I think, unless they make some bold moves, I think they hit a wall in the dog days of summer.
I think they do.
Because I don't see the pitching holding up. Harrison is not impressing.
No.
He's not. Command is tough, and he doesn't have any consistency where he, they did win 8 games in a row. He pitched in, surprisingly, but because they came back in a couple of those games.
Correct.
But
and the bullpen came in and locked it down.
But you got to get into the 6th inning, and hopefully through the 6th inning if you're a starter. I'm sorry. You cannot be going just 5 innings and running out of gas.
That's 3 games in a row. The Snell game, you had to rescue him for what, 5 innings, right?
Blake Snell only went 4.
Oh yeah,
the most Snell's made it through is 4.
Yeah, so you had to rescue him for 5.
Oh,
then yesterday
4 or 5. Okay,
right. Then yesterday was a bullpen game. Today
right.
you had how many did Harrison go? 5 or 6? I can't remember.
I think he went 5.
Sure, 5.
I think he only went 5. Yeah. So now you got the bullpen having to cover the last 4. Come on. You can't keep doing that. The only guy out there that's really going the distance is Webb.
Yeah, Harrison went 5 innings.
Second he has a bad start, the pen's going to be in a bad spot.
Exactly.
102 pitches. I'm not counting on Alex Cobb at all.
I'm not counting on Robbie Ray. People keep saying Robbie Ray.
I think Ray will be
counting on either is
no.
Yeah, you can't totally count. I mean, I think they're going to try to get Robbie Ray 10 to 12 starts is what I think they're gunning for. And I think they're hoping that he ramps up and they're in the playoff hunt, and that the last 3-4 starts he's back to Robbie Ray after, 7-8 starts. And that because he's probably going to have 6 starts in the on a rehab.
Yeah.
So he's going to get a full spring training.
Yeah.
Once he ramps up, he's going to, he'll go out and throw an inning, and then the next start he'll throw 2, maybe 3 innings, and then he's up to 4 innings, and then 5, and then they're going to get him up to 7. They'll stretch him out. Like they might even go 1 extra start than what you would get in spring training.
And with his rehabs, I wouldn't look at his overall. The only thing I'll be looking at is if he's walking people. I could care less if he's giving up hits or whatever. I'm worried if he's going to be walking people, because it's spring traiing, or it's not spring training, but it's
not about results. It's all about it's
building
getting
up.
ready. Yeah. So I'm a little hesitant to say this team is going to be better than it was last year. Remember, they were 13 over 500. They were 64 and 51, and they finished 79 and 83.
Correct.
So I don't think they get to 13 over 500 this year. I just think I said this a few weeks ago. I don't know what you think, Cody. This is my take on this team. I think their biggest winning streak this year is 6 games, and I think their longest losing streak's like 5. I don't think they're a team that they've got enough pitching at times that somebody will throw a good game to keep them out of this massive losing streak, but I don't see them winning, racking 7-8 game winning streak.
Yeah, I don't see them pulling a 10er out like they did last season.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I mean, hopefully it would be nice, but
I just look at the schedule and I look at their pitching and I look at their hitting. I think the only chance this team has of really making it into the playoffs is if they hang on to these kids. If they send Luciano down and then Ramos or Matos, I think they go back into their tough times. So Mark Graves says sounds like a 500 team. Yeah, I that's kind of where I put them in our early prediction. I don't see a whole lot different. It could go one way or the other depending on moves Farhan makes. Makes the right moves and utilizes the kids for longer. You could be looking at an 85, 86 win team. You make the moves where you don't add and you send these kids down or whatever and don't replace them with proven major league talent, you're probably going to win 76 to 81 in that range.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just, I think they have a shot at 85 wins with the right moves. But you're going to have to add some starting pitching because I don't think Steve-O says Dan said 75 wins before season. I think when we did our predictions, I don't think I said 75. Did I, Eric?
I don't think you said 75. I know you said if the current roster wasn't going to be good, but if they added some, they would finish more.
I have to go back.
I just can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it'll fluctuate. I mean, it's going to fluctuate. It's a kind of moving. The final thought on this is the Giants are going to need to add starting pitching and some bullpen help. And they're going to have to, and Farhan's going to have to make a trade or two to strengthen, the lineup. So that's my take. What's your final thought on that, Cody?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty accurate. I think best case scenario, they're going to be in that, 84, 85 wins range. But, on the flip side, there's the outside chance that some of these kids just take off. And if they actually stick with them, my opinion I'm always fluid with my opinion.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That could change. I mean, if suddenly, Ramos or Matos or whoever looks like a star, or if they did keep Luciano and the bat looks as good as we hope, then, all of a sudden it changes the outlook a lot. And then they may be adding, but
right.
I do think they're going to need to add, especially pitching.
And now we got to rely on Farhan for those additions. So just take that in consideration.
Yeah.
Take that in consideration.
All right, guys. Well, thanks to Cody. Everybody go check out his channel. It's a good channel. Even Year Dynasty Show on YouTube. So go over there and subscribe to it. Even Year Dynasty Show. He's going to be doing a live. I saw. Was it tomorrow night or
tomorrow? It'll probably be in the afternoon sometime after I get off work. So yeah, I'm looking probably 2:30ish.
Okay.
So,
All right. Go subscribe. Turn on the alerts when he comes on. We will be back Friday night. About 10 o'clock. Friday nights start late. Yankees will be in town. Should be a fun series.
Should be something.
And get to see some stars in Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. We'll have to do a little prediction. I don't know. I'll say Judge goes deep once and Soto puts one into the cove in the series.
Soto always seems to hit like 2 or 3. It feels like every time he
Soto hits him to left field at Oracle.
Yeah, I would love to get Juan Soto. They're just not going to. He's built as a lefty. He's built to play in this park.
Yeah.
But,
yep. Yeah. Well, everybody, thanks for joining. Friday night, we'll be back after the Giants-Yankees game, about 10 o'clock. Until then, have a great one.